It is 10:01. Good morning from Vanderbilt Health Football Center at Titans training camp. I'm Lucas Panzica. No fans out at training camp today, but the Titans are set to take the practice field. Robert Saleh will step up to the podium after practice. Rookie center Pat Coogan will join the show in the noon hour. In NFL news, Jonathan Taylor has agreed to a 2-year, $44 million extension with the Indianapolis Colts. It has a max value of $47 million. $39 million guaranteed. It is the third largest deal for a running back in NFL history. Jonathan Taylor joins the likes of Daniel Jones in signing big deals with the Colts this offseason. Nashville Soccer Club fell to open up Leagues Cup play 1-0, giving up a late goal to Club Leon at Geodis Park. And the boys in gold will have an uphill climb to continue on in Leagues Cup. The group stage action continues Sunday at home against San Luis at 7 p.m. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome into 104.5 The Zone. We're happy to have you. God, I am hot on this microphone.
Yeah, turn yourself down.
I don't know how.
Just start pushing buttons.
Oh, goodness. 615. Now you know how I feel when you talk. 615, there it is. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to jump in, we'd be happy to have you. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is where you can live stream the show today. We're back out at Titans training camp. There are no fans, which means that we cannot tell you what's happening in real time. We will update you at the end of practice, scheduled for about 12:15 today. We will have Pat Coogan of the Titans rookie class on the radio show today. He's not had a great training camp, but I have to let my college bias show a little bit, Lucas, so we're going to have Pat Coogan on the radio show today, and I'll probably just talk to him about Indiana football, which I'm sure the audience will love.
Honestly, I would love to just talk to him about Kurt Cignetti.
Being a Rose Bowl MVP?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's an interesting story for an offensive lineman. Fortunately for Titans fans, I don't think he factors in at all as far as the starting center job. But we will talk to Pat Coogan at after practice today. We will have Robert Saleh's media availability for you. We have, I believe, Tajay Spears is one of the players speaking today. Also, Jacob Martin, who's an interesting guy. Lucas, he's one of the pass rushers that comes over with previous Saleh experience. A good talker, too, so I think fans will learn more about what this defense entails from Jacob Martin at about 12:15, 12:20 today. We'll have some Greg Cosell audio for you. Speaking of Robert Saleh's defense, Cosell and I got in the weeds on that and how it compares and contrasts to various defenses that you may be familiar with. And also just a lot of news in the AFC South that Greg and I got to talk about today with Clowney, with the Jonathan Taylor contract, a number of different deals that have been done over the course of the last 24, 48, 72 hours. I do want to start with, we're going to get to this Derrick Henry thing at some point. It's not that important, even though the internet seemed to catch on fire as a result. I want to talk about Steve Belichick being placed on leave. What do we know about the son of Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator for North Carolina, being placed on administrative leave?
Medical leave, not
medical leave.
administrative
Okay,
leave.
medical leave. After Mike Lombardi was placed on administrative leave. That is who is on administrative leave after an HR violation that we still don't have details on, right? It's been like a week and a half.
Yeah, nothing's come out about that.
How is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Pablo Torre is finding out, but the reporting initially from Pete Thamel, Pete Nakos, and the like was that it was stemming from an HR violation within the football office or the front office, if I'm not mistaken. But apart from that, nothing. And now we hear that Steve Belichick is stepping away on medical leave. No details from Bill Belichick, no date for a return. Just said that his son would be back as soon as possible. So obviously we hope everything is okay with Steve Belichick, that it is not something overly serious, but it is yet another just weird twist in this whole saga of the Bill Belichick era at Carolina.
This is over after this year, right? Like we're not doing any more Bill Belichick. We're not talking about Bill Belichick in year 3 at UNC, right?
Yeah.
This has been an abject disaster at every turn.
In every way. Like not a shred of light at the end of the tunnel.
Name one good thing that he's done since being on campus.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing that has put the University of North Carolina's football program in a good light. Their schedule's even tougher this year than it was last year. So if it's just more of the same, which it feels like it's going to trend that way, then yeah, it's a huge buyout, but it's hard to fathom.
I mean, who cares at that point, you know?
Yeah,
Just
I mean, it's crazy. Like the levels, they're so far below what they were doing with Mac Brown.
Well, yeah, and what is Mac Brown doing? He's probably sitting around with a number of understanding what that job is and pointing and laughing at North Carolina for how badly they've botched this.
They're a joke, and but obviously we hope everything's okay with Steve Belichick.
Sure, but as far as the rest of that experiment goes, I mean, I was thinking about this. Anytime it feels like somebody comes in and talks about completely changing the construct of a thing, right? Completely changing the way that a certain thing is done and a certain thing that works for a number of different years. When you come into college football talking about being the 33rd team, okay? One, that's not something that college people want to hear at all, you pretentious MFer. Specific to Michael Lombardi, it sounds like that's in part a big reason why so many people in college athletics were happy to see him crash out so tremendously. Though, again, we still don't know what his HR violation is. So it could be damning. It could be, nothing at all. Nobody's, it seems, done much reporting of consequence around that, which again is surprising to me. But anytime you come in talking about like you single-handedly, you as an entity are going to come in and revolutionize a thing, how often does that thing actually get revolutionized? Hell, happened here with Chad Brinker and the way that they were talking about revolutionizing their scouting department, all these advanced analytics. Then they fired all the analytics people that they brought in with Brinker because Brinker didn't know what he was looking for.
You're right on that part, but Chad Brinker just came in and said, we're going to have an analytics department. And here, that felt like revolutionizing. But let's not
numbers and football.
Let's not pretend like Chad Brinker was coming in trying to do something new that nobody else was doing. They just did it poorly.
That's the way he was acting, though.
But like the analytics department went from one dude in the booth talking to Vrabel to an actual analytics department. But yes, obviously Chad Brinker
that has since been fired
here.
For what it's worth. Now they do have new analytics people.
But let's not pretend like Brinker was coming in here trying to reinvent the wheel because he said the word analytics.
Brinker came in here trying to reinvent the wheel because that's the way that he put it in front of people. It was a used car salesman pitch at every turn.
But Bill Belichick and Mike Lombardi did come in with this hubris of reinventing the wheel, and it was just this air of swooping down saying, you people here don't know how to evaluate players.
You think you know football?
We're going to evaluate players, and here we are. So
they're evaluating 70 new players because all the players, the 70 ones that they brought in last year, they didn't get it right on. Aaron Donald is in the news. He was on the official NFL transactions yesterday, Lucas. We get an email from the league. I don't know if you get those, where it just gives you the day's transactions, who worked out for whom, and this, that, and the other. Under the Los Angeles Rams as a category, just said Aaron Donald had a workout. It's like, okay.
It feels like that's getting louder and louder.
I think it's going to happen. I mean, why wouldn't it at this? Unless he just decides, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to do this, that, and the other. It seems like he's getting ready to play football, doesn't it?
It feels like it's trending that way. I mean, it's to the point where, like, Aaron Donald obviously is more than open to it. Like, he's not just toying with it, saying things cryptically on social media. He was literally in the building yesterday.
Yes.
So, yeah, if Aaron Donald was in no way going to come back, no, I'm retired, I retired for a reason, then we wouldn't be talking about this right now. So, yeah, if you had to put money on it now, it feels like it's more likely than not, doesn't it?
I'm going to, again, just a guess. I'm going to guess that he's going to be back in some form or fashion once training camp concludes, like officially active, on the roster, ready to go, once he passes all the medicals and the physical tests that he needs to get back up and ready. I mean, he's been working out. I know there's a difference between NFL workouts and, your at-home gym routine and things of that nature, but I think Aaron Donald is going to be ready to go by the start of the season, which is a fascinating science experiment for the Los Angeles Rams, who open up in Australia. Welcome back, Aaron Donald. You get to play down under against the San Francisco 49ers, who right now their head coach and offensive play caller is not outright available to them. So we'll see how much changes in that situation moving forward as we've got about a month. We do have a football game tonight with the Hall of Fame game, the Panthers and the Cardinals. I will watch probably a quarter. I don't think people should watch more than a quarter of that, because at that point, unless you are just a Robert Walsh full-on sicko, you are not going to have any idea who these people are, and they will not matter in the consequence or in the landscape of the NFL basically in a month from now. But the Hall of Fame game is back. We do have a football game.
Football will be on your televisions. Football will, if I'm not mistaken, be on your radios. On 104.5 The Zone.
We have it. Okay.
Westwood One coverage of the Hall of Fame game.
Daniel says, are we going to get more of Lucas's play-by-play today? No play-by-play today, no fans today. So we can't tell you what's happening on the practice field. I don't know why that's a rule. I mean, it's not something that I'm willing to die on a hill for, as far as why we can't talk about practice when, what's the difference that an hour makes, essentially, when practice is over. But that's the way that they want to operate, because it's not like they're running hardcore scheme stuff out here in front of us. They would not do that. That's why the practice rules change.
I imagine it's not
begins.
Unique to the Titans.
No, it's not at all. It's absolutely not at all. I mentioned the number, 615-737-1045. If you want to jump in, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is where you can live stream the show as well. Make sure you like the video if you're on YouTube today. We're going to get to some Cosell analysis here in just a little bit. Do want to play this Derrick Henry audio so that we can talk about this and then put it to bed, because it's just another, I think, example of a mistake that was made by media that Derrick Henry is now having to correct. So Derrick Henry was visiting with Kay Adams. The name of the show is what, Krull? Up and Adams? Okay, Up and Adams. And I guess that Kay Adams, who does that show for FanDuel, was at Ravens training camp yesterday and sitting down with Derrick Henry, and they were talking about Derrick Henry's career. Okay, very good. I don't know.
What in the world?
I don't know.
You're just bad. You're bad at football. You know that? What do we do?
Hey, man, whatever.
Oh, it works.
I don't get it. It's not for me. I'm not mad at her, because whatever she's doing, she's insanely successful. So, while that is not, while that is not the way that I think an interview, should be conducted, that is the way that Kay Adams does her interviews, and that's fine. But she's baiting him there, right? She's trying to get him to say he wants to retire a Raven because she wants the audio clip. And Lucas, did you read the tweet? One day, Derrick Henry will retire. He told me he wants to retire as a Raven. Did you hear Derrick Henry say he wants to retire as a Raven?
I mean, isn't that basically what he said?
No, he said, I don't want to play somewhere else after Baltimore. I don't want to get traded at the deadline. When I'm done, I want to be done here.
Yeah, that's retiring a Raven.
Okay, but Titans fans are going to take that as he wants to retire as a Raven.
All right.
Which is the way that the tweet was phrased.
I'm getting dumber in real time right now.
It's okay.
It's hard to get any dumber, but I feel myself getting dumber at the discourse that
the discourse is done. The discourse is done because, immediately, and this happened a couple of years ago with Diana Rossini on the red carpet. You remember this? Because Diana got, not in as much trouble as Diana's been in lately, but Diana got in some trouble with Derrick Henry because Derrick doesn't want Titans fans to think definitively. He may. I don't know if he's going to or not. But he doesn't want Titans fans to think that he's completely ignored them because he's finishing his career in Baltimore. It's a non-story.
Yeah, it's a non-story. There's nothing here whatsoever.
Except Kay Adams tried to make something there, which is, it's fine. I understand the need for Kay Adams, even if I don't necessarily agree with the approach. 615-737-1045. the number. Somebody in the chat says, please don't make Lucas get dumber.
Yeah, like let's not. It's a big achievement. Let's not do that. It did. I don't know if actually this is what prompted it, but ESPN put out an article: future Hall of Famers from all 32 teams. Okay. Bill Barnwell of ESPN.
Well, we're going to talk about it later in the show. How many active NFL Hall of Famers are playing right now? Because Derrick is obviously one of them. But I wonder how many you could actually name.
It's an interesting list.
There are not 32, obviously. There is not a Hall of Famer on every team right now today, but we can talk about the ones that are actively playing. Okay, so we will get to some co-cell audio. We broke down defenses, specifically Robert Saleh's defense. Oh, Delaney Walker's in practice today. That's nice to see Delaney. That is something that I can tell you that is happening on the practice field. We will keep the conversation going with some football analysis from co-cell. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is celebrating 12 years, now open in Murfreesboro, serving Nashville, Franklin, Clarksville, and the borough, and so many more across Middle Tennessee. They're legit script certified. A legit script certified clinic doesn't live in the gray area, and that's the way that the Tennessee Men's Clinic has been operating, with treatment plans that make the most sense for you as an individual for almost 20 years treating men in Tennessee. Real history, they're getting better and better every year. A urologist will oversee every protocol and your specific care. So if you want the best, go to the Tennessee Men's Clinic. The pills don't work for everyone, and even when they do, a lot of guys deal with headaches, flushed face, a number of different side effects that nobody loves. If pills haven't worked or never really did, that's exactly what the Tennessee Men's Clinic is built for. They're there to help you through that process and to make sure you get the individualized care that you absolutely need to get back to feeling like yourself. It's only $99 for a full hormone panel plus PSA, and you'll get your exact number in about an hour. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or visit them online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. We are at the Titans practice facility. Training camp taking place today. No fans on the field means that we cannot tell you what's happening in real time. We will get you updated on all things Titans practice at 12:15. I know they're going to be out at the stadium, pending weather, tomorrow evening. So if you're going to be out there, hope to see you there, and bring your poncho just in case. We are going to hear some Greg Cosell analysis because something that Greg and I wanted to do is talk about coaches who are going to help define the upcoming season. We did offense last week. Today we did defense. Now, we did start with a number of different news items that are out there in the world specific to the AFC South because Jadeveon Clowney's back in Houston. Jonathan Taylor's got a new 2-year deal in Indianapolis, and the Titans are trying to figure out how they can make some headway in this division. If not this year, then in years to come. So this is a portion of today's episode of The Install with Greg Cosell. Welcome into The Install with Greg Cosell of NFL Films. That, of course, is the main man, Greg. I'm Buck Rising. Happy to have you guys back for another week. We've got a Hall of Fame game tonight as we tape this podcast today. Greg, I'm sure you're enthralled with the matchup of Carson Beck versus Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I guess there is a game tonight. It's funny how that Hall of Fame game just kind of sneaks up on you, but hey, there's a game.
There is. It's as close as we can get to real football for the audience, Greg, is where they're at. Now, as far as preseason goes for us, because obviously next week I'll be out in San Francisco and the Titans will get their preseason underway. As we mentioned last week, we'll give Greg, a player or two or three to talk about from the Titans preseason game, but it's not going to be X's and O's analysis of what the Titans are doing in the preseason for obvious reasons. We do have a number of different news items to start, Greg, before we get into some defensive schemes and coaches that we're interested in this year. Jonathan Taylor agrees to a 2-year deal with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
Colts roster is so interesting to me, Greg, because they've had just a nightmare of a time trying to figure out this quarterback situation. They finally think they land on Daniel Jones, and they get off to the 8-2 start last year with a lot of really good pieces around him.
Yeah.
He blows his Achilles after a fibula fracture, and they kind of tank as a result. The Colts roster, though, is very good, and Taylor in that Shane Steichen offense has been an absolute stud these last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, and clearly they want the offense to work through him. Jones obviously played extremely well a year ago, and assuming he's back to full health, which it appears is the case.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a guy that has excellent size. He's an efficient player in a well-schemed offense. That's what Daniel Jones is, because he can throw the ball well. Because even though he can run fast in a straight line, he's not pocket mobile. He's not a really good quarterback in terms of moving within the pocket and finding that quieter place to deliver the football. So their offense works through Taylor, clearly one of the best backs in the league when healthy. And, it's interesting. We've talked, I'm sure, over the summer. I can't remember. I'm sure we have. Just about how the run game, I think, is becoming a little more important in offensive coordinators' minds, simply as a response to the way defenses are playing, because more and more defenses now are playing out of that too high safety shell structure. And so there is a safety does not have a primary gap responsibility in the run game. And of course, we've also talked about how defensive tackles have therefore become more important, just as players within the context of a defense, because you don't have that extra player. So there's so many domino effects, but the run game, I think, not that we're going to return to Vince Lombardi in the 60s, but the run game, I think, is increasing in importance in the way teams see an offense being put together.
Yeah, we're not necessarily going to see a fullback on all 32 rosters this year, right? But there is, as the NFL always does, trends, ebbs and flows, with the way that teams adjust and as things become, things become new that were old. And you see that, speaking of running back contracts, Bijan Robinson in Atlanta got
Yeah.
paid a significant amount of money. Greg, I don't know if you remember this Zoom call that all these famous running backs had a couple of years ago because they were worried about their contract situations. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and the like. I feel like they have gotten right as far as that position
Yeah.
goes for the way that we've talked about. You can find a running back anywhere. Turns out these guys can still get a premium.
Yeah, and Bijan is the best back in the league as far as I'm concerned. Not only because of his running ability, but the fact is that he lined up detached from the formation as a split player more than 20% of his offensive snaps. So he can run routes like a wide receiver. So he is a really multi-dimensional player, but he's such a good back. And it's funny. I remember it's probably 2 years ago. I forget which exact Super Bowl it was, but I remember being on Radio Row and seeing this guy walking around, street clothes. Obviously, no one's walking around Radio Row in uniforms except for the lunatics. But Bijan, it turned out to be Bijan Robinson, and I couldn't believe it because he looked like a linebacker. I don't know if you've seen him, just in normal street clothes, but he is a big man, and he's the best back in the league. So, although what's interesting. I think I could be wrong on this. Maybe you know this. I think that the guard on their team, Matthew Bergeron, who also just signed a deal, I think he's getting more money than Bijan Robinson, which I think, like I said, it's probably something you could check. But if
Yeah.
that's the case, it just shows you that running backs are still not quite getting their due. And of course, that's my opinion, obviously. But I think the running game is more important in the league now.
I'll look that up as we're having our conversation here because I know he did sign a contract. I'm not sure the exact the
Yeah.
average annual value on that deal, but I can find that for us throughout the course of this. And while I do that, Greg, just we haven't really talked about Bijan in Kevin Stefanski's offense and how much
Yeah.
how symbiotic of a relationship that can be, understanding that they have significant questions at quarterback.
Yeah, and we know Kevin Stefanski in an ideal world, he's a run game guy to start. I mean, you think back, even though Cleveland hasn't been very good over these last couple of years, there was a stretch, going back maybe 3, 4 years where they had a really, really good O-line. It was before Nick Chubb had that really significant severe injury, and they ran the ball at a really, really high level. People might forget about that, but Chubb was considered one of the 2 or 3 or 4 best backs in the league at the time and then unfortunately had that injury. But they had a really, really good O line, and Atlanta's O line is good, by the way.
Mm.
So Bijan Robinson, he's going to get 250 plus carries. We saw what he did last year. I think he was close to 1,500 yards. I think he led the NFL in all-purpose yards, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe McCaffrey beat him out because I think McCaffrey had close to 900 receiving yards. But Bijan's always going to be up there in all-purpose yards, running and receiving.
You were correct. Matthew Bergeron's, and again, average annual value on this contract, $24 million for Matthew Bergeron, 22 and a half for Bijan
Yeah.
Robinson.
And taking nothing away from Matthew Bergeron,
No,
none
he's a
of
good
this is
player.
like, but it just shows you that a left guard is making more money than Bijan Robinson. And it's funny. I remember having a conversation with a running back coach years ago, and I forget who it was, but I'll never forget the nature of the conversation. And he'd been in the league a long time, and he was of the belief. Now, different people have different points of view. He was of the belief that the running back makes the offensive line, not the offensive line makes the running back. So again, one coach's point of view that can be debated, I'm sure, and I'm sure it is in a lot of coaches meetings because it depends, I guess, on the running back.
Yeah, no question. Just to wrap up our news section of the podcast for the day, this is a less consequential deal, given that the Houston Texans defense is already stacked,
Yeah.
but it is a familiar face coming back to the AFC South, Greg, for another stint. He's played with the Titans and obviously started his career with the Texans in Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney, the dialogue around Clowney is always interesting, and I wonder if you could speak to the narrative
Yeah.
about him versus the player that he actually is.
Yeah. Yeah, the narrative's always been that boy, he's a great pass rusher, which he's never been. He's a good football player, by the way. He's a very good run defender. He's physical. He's tough. I think he brings a certain toughness to your D line, but he's not a pure pass rusher. Never has been. And again, not that sacks are the defining feature of whether someone's a pure pass rusher, but I would bet, and again, I don't have his stats in front of me, but I would bet he's never had double-digit sacks in a season. Or if he has, it's been one time. He's just not a really good pass rusher because he's upright and stiff in his core, and he has to win only one way. And when you can only win one way, and that's with pure power, it's hard to be, a really dominant pass rusher, which he has never been.
As far as Clowney goes, and again, sack statistics are not the end all be all
No,
for, a quality football player,
sure.
but in his career, Greg, you are correct. He has never had double-digit sacks since being drafted in the league in 2014. He has gotten close twice. In 2017, he had 9.5. In 2023 with Baltimore, he had 9.5, but never broken that
Yeah.
10 sack mark.
He's just not a great pass rusher. I mean, he just doesn't quite have the traits to be that. But he's a good football player. I mean, for a team like Houston, where they have Hunter and Anderson, he's a really good piece that probably would play, 20, 25 snaps a game. And he's a tough, hard-nosed football player.
Yeah. The only time he has not had a single sack in a season was here in 2020. So not it's a Titans run of luck there for a while, Greg, man. Oh, you try not to laugh too hard at those things because God knows this fan base is not happy about stuff like that. But man, just a tough streak on free agents and draft picks there for a period of time. So I want to talk to you about some defensive coaches, and I know
Sure.
the one that we're going to start with here is one that you're intimately familiar with, not just because he's in your area right now, but because he's been in the league for a long, long time, in Vic Fangio. Now the Eagles defense, they just re-signed Jalen Carter. I wonder if you could start with speaking to the importance of Jalen Carter within that defense,
Yeah.
and then talk a little bit about what Fangio does.
Again, speaking to the importance of defensive tackles, they've allocated a lot of money into Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis this offseason because they understand in the context of a Vic Fangio foundational philosophy defense where you're starting with two high safeties, basically, at least 10 yards depth from the line of scrimmage. So that's foundationally how they play in a two high safety shell structure. And the great thing about that, couple things just to speak about quickly, that can morph into any number of things. It can morph into multiple two high coverage concepts, because there's many of those, or it can morph into a single high safety coverage concept. All this happens post snap. So what is the objective when you do that? The objective is to force quarterbacks to read coverage post snap, which can slow down their mental processing in a game of milliseconds. And all it takes is just that extra millisecond, as you know, Buck. And if the quarterback's not seeing it right, then it's a problem. And in many ways, the way the Eagles play, it's almost as if the coverage can sometimes create the sacks as opposed to the other way around. Now, another thing that, they do that's really good, and it's part of the Vic Fangio philosophy, is it's not pure zone, it's zone match. So in other words, they don't just drop back and stare at the quarterback in a zone, which is what's called vision. That's more of the Robert Saleh style of defense. They don't just do vision on the quarterback; they match routes. So the reason they do that is the objective is to minimize or eliminate the voids and stress points and conflict areas that are inherent in more conventional zone coverages. They don't want to have voids, because if you can't get to the quarterback, if you have eventually in conventional zone, Buck, what happens is there are voids in the coverage. So they do that sort of zone match. They call it match, carry, deliver, and you're delivering to another defender who's usually a cap safety or a defensive back. So that's a major feature of the Vic Fangio defense, that you're trying to eliminate the voids, the stress points, and the conflict areas.
It's a good way to transition into Saleh. Titans do have practice out here on this Thursday morning as we're taping the podcast. Another day of training camp before a couple more practices of training camp before their first preseason game next week in San Francisco. Joint camp before that with the Niners. So Saleh's defense, you mentioned
Yeah,
the way that they operate vision on the quarterback. They obviously present the four-man front. You're going to have four
that's
guys
yeah.
almost every time with their hand in the ground, rushing the passer. You've got your three best linebackers on the field. What else can you tell us about the Saleh defense? The pros of what that presents when you have four guys who can get regular pressure, and some of the cons with the way that any scheme
Yeah.
can be poked holes in, right?
Sure. And that's really the starting point. It starts with the front four. I mean, it's a 4-3 scheme or a 4-2-5 scheme in nickel that he doesn't really play dime. So it all starts, the reliance is heavy on a four-man D line pass rush. That's the starting point. And there's those wide nine front seven structures where the defensive end is often, wider than the offensive tackle and gets a little bit of a runway to rush the quarterback. And it stretches the blocking seams. It creates favorable one-on-one pass rushing opportunities. It forces the offensive line to dictate how they might want to slide, because because you got to deal with those wide nine guys, and then the tackles who are inside of them. So it's not a heavy blitz deal, and he started his career initially with the sort of Seattle cover three, because that's where he began with the Legion of Boom, and that was heavy cover three. But what started to happen, obviously, just because of the nature of the NFL game, is he sort of evolved to where he's incorporated more quarters, meaning four across, and more what they call split field match coverages like cover six or cover eight, where you're playing cover two to one side and quarters to the other side, because those kinds of coverages where you have two deep safeties, ideally that limits explosive pass plays. So Robert Saleh has adjusted and evolved, but the premise is it's zone concepts behind a four-man pass rush with vision on the quarterback. Um, Someone like Fred Warner, who's the best coverage linebacker in the game, was a master at it because of his length, and his ability to understand routes. So even though he wasn't, matching routes, he understood route concepts based on receiver splits. I think that's one reason why they drafted Anthony Hill. Not that he's Fred Warner, no one is, but you're dealing with a tall linebacker who's athletic. So,
Well,
the hope is that he would fill that role in a Robert Saleh defense.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Hill in particular, Greg, just because he is somebody who had the ability to generate pass rush in the way that he was deployed at Texas, right? I think he had 17 career sacks for the Longhorns in his time playing there, and it's just
Yeah.
been kind of a curiosity for us to see at what point, because you mentioned they're not a blitz heavy defense, whether that's something that they really get into with a guy like Anthony Hill. And of course, they have the option to do it, right? But just kind of the way that the defense primarily operates,
And
we may not see it as often.
but the other thing you can see that's part of this is what we call zone exchange or sim pressures, where you bring a second level defender, and it could be Hill. If he plays as much as I think they would like, you can bring a second level defender and drop out a defensive end, and he becomes an underneath zone defender. So it's still a four-man pass rush. It's different. It's like I said, it's a zone exchange or a sim pressure, as people call it. So it's very possible if they like what they see from Hill rushing the quarterback, and you are correct, Buck, he did that well at Texas. They could, create those opportunities for him.
Yeah, Titans fans will be familiar with that. Obviously, a different defensive system, but they used to do that a lot with Harold Landry and David Long under Shane Bowen and Mike Vrabel, occasionally with Bud Dupree as well. All right. So that is a portion of the install with Greg Cosell of NFL Films. We'll continue to talk about what's happening out at Titans training camp throughout the course of the morning. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
I'm hungry. This is about that time of day where I start to get hungry. You may be the same as we're coming up on 11 o'clock, but that also means that there's good news. Doors are opening in 15 minutes at Hattie B's locations across Middle Tennessee, Melrose, Midtown, West Nashville, brand new to East Nashville, right there on Gallatin, even inside of Geodis Park. If you're watching the Boys in Gold play Leagues Cup action on Sunday, and inside of Nissan Stadium when the Titans get underway with the preseason beginning next week. Hattie B's Hot Chicken has something for everyone. Whether you want that juicy, crispy, perfect hot chicken with the scratch-made sides, you can feel the meat-and-three tradition of the Bishop family, or you want something healthy and one of the Southern salads, get you some of them cornbread croutons. Download the Hattie B's app today. You get a free dessert just for downloading the app. Order for pickup or delivery. Start to stack those rewards, and go check out that new spot in East Nashville. It's not just your regular old Hattie B's. The event space hangar area in the back, you can enjoy the hot chicken, a cold beer, a drink, watch some games, play some pool. Great spot to lounge and hang out on the east side of town. Go to Hattie B's Hot Chicken today.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Lucas and me hanging out at Titans training camp practice. Kirby is here, too. Robert is at the beach. Or not at the beach. He's, like, driving towards the beach. He's somewhere in inland North Carolina, trying to get to the beach so he can put that metal detector to work.
And I wish he was here for this conversation.
Well, so let's talk about this. What do I need to know about Akron football and the promotion that they're doing to try and continue to raise funds as we all try and equip our war chests as college football programs as much as humanly possible? What is Akron doing that we've not seen before?
This is ingenious. Like, this is the way to make money. Don't not sell to private equity and the patches on the jerseys and all of these things. This is how you do business, because Akron football is doing a promotion where, I'll just read from the tweet, @ZipsFB on Twitter. Make history and be the lucky season ticket holder to design the opening drive of the home opener when the Zips host Robert Morris with a link. That's right. If you go and you buy season tickets to Akron football, they will pick one lucky fan of those season ticket purchasers to literally script the opening drive for the offense in their home opener. It is a random drawing among season ticket holders. They are holding the drawing on August 19th. I cannot wait. I will do everything in my power to watch Akron's home opener against Robert Morris to see what happens here. This thing has gone viral. Akron has reportedly, according to Front Office Sports, sold out for the first time. It's football suites.
Oh, you're kidding.
Following this viral play calling promotion. The offer also includes a pregame press conference, being mic'd up with a headset and a play sheet, and being in the coach's box during the game. So I saw this, and I thought, okay, maybe you send some plays in, and they'll run it. No, they're going to slap a headset on you, and they will put you in the box. They will mic you up. You'll do the press conference, the whole deal. It's gone viral. It's obviously worked tremendously for Akron football. Promote whatever genius in the marketing department, PR department, ticket sales department that thought of this, because this is awesome, and the possibilities are endless.
Okay, but if Tennessee did this, you would hate this.
Yeah.
Tennessee doesn't need to do this.
No, they don't.
Akron needs to do this.
That's why it's smart. Right. Tennessee is going to sell out their home opener against Furman. Akron is not. So shout out to the Akron Zips. Joe Moorhead, still the head coach of Akron football, the former Penn State or Mississippi State coach, did work at Penn State.
I wonder how Joe Moorhead feels about the idea of selling off his opening series to the highest bidder, which, again, if you're in the...
That's money for the program.
Well, but that's the thing why the Bill Belichick thing was... That's the reason why the Bill Belichick thing was always going to be a crash-out situation in North Carolina. He's not equipped to do stuff like this, right? He's not going to go to the governor's mansion for a birthday party. He's not going to do all these other things that you have to do to glad hand and to make sure that you have the requisite resources, everything above and beyond being a football coach, right? Because college football still has so much of that. In fact, if we're talking about Group of Four and Akrons of the world and things like that, yeah, that's never been more prevalent than it is right now. You have to find ways to turn your football program into a money-making gimmick, for lack of a better term. And this is a money-making gimmick, and a successful one, apparently, for Akron.
And needed for a program as Joe Moorhead heads into year 5, does not have a winning season as a head coach there. They went 2-10 in 2022, 2-10 in 2023, 4-8 in 2024, and 5-7 in 2025. So they are on track for maybe a 6-6 in 2026.
So you airing it out? You're not running the ball on a single play, right?
That's the obvious question. What do you do? Do you keep it?
Air it out.
I mean, do you straight up go full head, do it like you would if you were an actual play caller?
Absolutely.
Well, you have to establish the run if you're going to do that. Or do you do it like you would playing Madden or playing EA college football, where it is all goes on every play?
Well, do you care about the ire of the coaching staff and the players is the question. Or is the money supersede their feelings? Because if I'm paying for it, I'm doing whatever the hell I want to do.
I don't want to be cynical, but I'm skeptical that it is carte blanche. Because, we are talking about putting players.
You think they're going to give you a menu?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's going to be like Ask Corso when you would be playing NCAA, where you get.
Coach, what do you recommend here?
You don't feel like scrolling through all the formations. You just want 6 plays to choose from.
Because you're not on the sideline or you're not in a booth, right? You got to submit these things beforehand.
Sure.
They're not going to put you in the coach's booth. Put you on a headset?
Surely that's what's happening. So it's probably going to be way more toned down than it sounds. The possibilities people throw out have been absolutely hilarious. But, yeah, we are talking about player safety as well, right?
Trips Y, Zenith, check tango,
Yeah, exactly. So, you're not going to put the safety and health of your players into the hands of a random fan. I imagine that they're going to have meetings with this fan and give them certain play calls within their scheme on, all right, here's what you'll do, on the first down. You get to pick which of these run plays.
I love this.
Yes, I do too. I think it's awesome. It's obviously
What's
an
the
ingenious
cutoff,
idea.
Though? What program is too proud? Even if they are in a different situation, financially, where do we cut this off? Because Akron, everybody's going to say yes. Akron needs to do this.
Yeah.
For the purposes of fundraising. 2 years ago, I would have said yes. Indiana needs to do this for the purposes of fundraising. Yeah, is there a Power 4 school out there?
That's the question. What power? What is right now?
Florida State.
Well, sure, but we understand what Florida State is. And a coach.
They need more money for that buyout. Coach, I'm contributing to your buyout by paying for the first offensive series. Now get the hell out of here.
No, but who's the new Indiana who replaces Indiana as that straight up
Northwestern
bottom feeder? It could be Northwestern.
Well, that's literally who replaced Indiana as the losingest college football program after they went undefeated.
All right,
last
they do have a
season.
shiny new stadium, but yes,
Northwestern does.
Yeah, they're building a shiny new stadium.
That's
apart from Pat Fitzgerald had a good era at Northwestern, but yeah, apart from that, Northwestern has done nothing but lose. Rutgers has had some good players come through. They've had tiny little blips here and there, but they are a mediocre at absolute best. Maryland? Yeah, I was thinking
Mike
Maryland.
Loxley.
So, yeah, that's a great question. If we still did the polls and Elon didn't ruin them, we would ask
ruined the polls.
What power conference could most stand to, in another day, Vanderbilt, to be quite honest.
Sure.
But
Vanderbilt
not
and Indiana
anymore.
living different now.
Not anymore.
Living different now. 615-737-1045. The number if you want to jump in. We would be happy to have you at any point. We are also live streamed, of course, on the F&M Bank Chat, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. So a number of different things that are worth getting to until we can talk about what's happening at Titans practice because we are in a holding pattern until 12:15. We will jump into how many active NFL players are surefire locks to get in the Hall of Fame. We'll have a number of different conversations around that in the second hour. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? What's happening, good people? Let me go on and tell you while you're walking into your weekend what you need to be looking for. That is a truck. Yeah, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They're going to take care of you. All you got to do is slide in there and let them know, hey, man, Big Slay told me. And they will look out for you. Go in there and holler at my guys, Trey, Matt. They're going to be right there to help you walk through the process of going to get your truck. And guess what? It's nothing that's going to be pressure, no high pressure, just low pressure approach, no gimmicks, no pushy sale tactics. That's not what they're about. They're about getting the job done and getting you comfortable and understanding exactly what you're getting into. It's a one-stop shop. If you need service, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They are the ones you need to be looking for. When it comes to the right vehicle, they got you covered. Even a body shop, service, financing, sales, they got it, all of that. All you got to do is go to 1319 Foster Avenue. Visit mid10fordtrucks.com.
11 o'clock. Good morning from Vanderbilt Health Football Center at Titans training camp. I'm Lucas Panzica. No Titans fans out at practice today, but Robert Saleh will speak after practice. Rookie center Pat Coogan will join the show coming up in the noon hour as well. In other NFL news, Jonathan Taylor and Henry To'oTo'o have reached big deals within the AFC South. The Colts running back reaching a 2-year, $44 million extension, a max value of $47 million and $39 million in guaranteed money. Meanwhile, in Houston, former Tennessee linebacker Henry To'oTo'o reached a deal on a 2-year, $16 million extension with the Texans. There is football on your television and your radio tonight. The NFL preseason kicks off with the Hall of Fame game. The Panthers and Cardinals facing off in Canton. It'll be Kenny Pickett versus Carson Beck to start things off at quarterback. Must-see TV. 7 p.m. is the kickoff. You can hear the Westwood One coverage right here on 104.5 The Zone. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second hour is underway here at the Titans practice facility. We're happy to have you till 1 o'clock. 615-737-1045, the number. You can jump in at any point. Titans practice is ongoing. Again, we remind you, we cannot tell you what's happening at Titans practice until Titans practice is concluded because there are no fans at training camp today. 615-737-1045, like I mentioned. F&M Bank Chat available for you to comment if you want. Apparently NFL Network's out here. I don't know what NFL Network is able to show if they have different rules than we do. Probably because you have less risk with the NFL Network than you do everybody else, but that's fine. Don't really distinguish between the NFL Network and ESPN anymore. I don't know who they even sent out here. Like, what's that look like for them anymore?
Who is down there?
I don't know. I can't see. I can take a peek. Does Rap Sheet dye his hair? Do you think? That is jet black hair for a man who is in his at least mid-40s.
Oh.
I have to think he's close to 50.
I don't know why anybody dyes their hair.
I think that's
let it gray, man.
That's too
gray
black.
Is good.
That's too black to be natural for a man his age. Do we know how old Ian Rappaport is? It looks like Ian Rappaport's down.
I don't know. That feels like an unnecessary allegation.
Is it unnecessary of Ryan Day? Have you seen Ryan Day's hair?
What is he, the hair police now? What's going on? I've never once thought about if a dude dyes his hair or not.
No, I think, to your point, I was like, for what? Who are you doing this for? It doesn't look that much better. In fact, you got a little gray going now that you're in your 30s.
I like the grays. I do not
agree
mind
with
the
you.
grays.
I'm with the gray. I think a touch of gray is okay from time to time.
Daniel Jeremiah and Kurt Warner are also down there per sources.
Oh, per sources. I see. Look at you, Big J Journo Lucas today. So Daniel Jeremiah and Kurt Warner. Okay. Well, I would be interested to hear Kurt Warner's quarterback analysis at some point. I'm sure he will have thoughts on Cam Ward. So, in the meantime, we can talk about a number of different things. And, in fact, something that we should get to here is how many active Hall of Famers are playing in the NFL. Derrick Henry, we bring this conversation up because of Derrick Henry. Derrick is even if Derrick didn't go to the Ravens after his Titans career, would Derrick Henry have been a Hall of Famer? I think Derrick's case has been ever strengthened.
I think so.
I agree.
He's a lock at this point.
He is a lock.
Right.
At this point.
Yeah.
But he's 3 years. He's had 3 seasons. Is this his 4th season already in Baltimore? Could that be right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's a long time. And so we've seen, him solidify himself as a Hall of Famer. I would have said, I think, that Derrick, prior to going and joining Baltimore, would have been a Hall of Famer as well. But how many other players can you name that are actively in the NFL that you would consider to be that kind of a lock? Is Matt Stafford a lock? I think so.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl championship helps him. Now he's got an MVP.
The longevity.
There's going to be passing records all over the place.
Yeah, his numbers are stupid. And he'll be in.
So I think that Matt Stafford is
Rodgers.
A lock. I think Aaron Rodgers is a lock. He also has the 1 Super Bowl. Now, you could say Aaron Rodgers' career has been disappointing because to only have one Super Bowl.
Nah, he'll be in.
But I agree with you.
Mahomes
He should
will be in.
Mahomes will be in. Is
and-
Travis Kelce a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Travis Kelce is probably a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, how many? He holds multiple NFL records, right?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I would imagine.
Longevity, a big thing with him as well.
Yep.
But in terms of quarterbacks, is it just those three? Stafford, Rodgers, Mahomes?
I couldn't say definitively that there is another obvious Hall of Famer.
There's not another obvious one.
Right.
Like there are trajectories.
Lamar could be.
Yeah. Like there are Allen, Lamar, Burrow, if he can stay healthy. Like these are all trajectories that very well could end them up in the Hall of Fame. But in terms of careers that if they ended today on August 6, 2026, those have to be the only three QB locks, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be.
So a number of different players. So Bill Barnwell went through this exercise and did it for all 32 teams. Now he categorized players in the following: in, obviously, on the cusp, keep it up, guys who have work to do, missing out are the 5 categories that he has assigned. It will surprise you none to know that the Arizona Cardinals do not have a definitive Hall of Famer on their roster. Mm-hmm. For the Los Angeles Rams, he's got 3 on this year's team: Devontae Adams, Myles Garrett, and Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
All in.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua trending in the right direction. Although receivers are tough. I mean, look, think about the logjam of receivers we've had these last couple of years, because in the same way that the passing numbers have trended up on the quarterbacks, obviously the receiving numbers have trended upwards as well. Derrick Mason, I just saw him down there, not the MTSU former Vanderbilt coach, but the Titans and Ravens wide receiving legend. I was talking to D. Mace down there on the sideline earlier, and Derrick has been waiting. I don't think Derrick is going to get in, nor do I think Derrick is a Hall of Famer. And he could argue that with me or he could argue that with anybody. Obviously, I don't want to diminish the career that he had. He had an excellent career for 2 franchises. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mark Andrews only recently passed him as the franchise reception leader for Baltimore. D-Mace had that title here and there for quite some time. But
definitely doesn't get enough credit.
But the logjam at wide receiver, I think there's a lot of dudes who you could make the case are Hall of Famers who are at least going to be waiting a while. So I don't know how obvious that is for Devontae Adams. Like, Devontae Adams is not a first ballot guy, is he?
Probably not. He doesn't have a
first ballot?
Does he have a Super? He doesn't have a Super Bowl.
He does not have a Super Bowl.
He got there after that Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't think he was on that Packers team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think he got there a couple years after the Super Bowl. He was a 2014 draft pick.
Now, if Aaron Donald is to join the Rams roster, somebody points out in the chat, he would also be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's in no matter what. The Rams have 3, according to Bill Barnwell. Can you name the other teams that he says have 3 that are in?
3 that are in definitively?
There are a few.
Steelers, Rodgers, T.J. Watt, and Hayward.
Steelers, according to Bill Barnwell.
Steelers don't have one?
Did he not?
Steelers have to have one.
Only Rodgers and Watt.
So not Cam Hayward, who's been doing it.
Hayward and Ramsey, he says, are on the cusp.
Oh, man.
Yeah, who else?
So not the Steelers. Who would have 3 Hall of Famers, active Hall of Famers on the roster?
There's a couple. It's more obvious than
Okay.
you. Don't overthink it.
I think it's probably better if you just tell me.
Kansas City.
Okay.
Chris
Kansas
Jones
City.
being the 3rd.
Chris Jones is the 3rd. Man, Chris Jones over Cam Hayward? Cam Hayward has done it longer and better for longer.
He writes about Chris Jones. He's made 7 straight Pro Bowls. His Hall of Fame case supported by postseason heroics. 3.5 sacks in 22 postseason games may not feel like much, but he has made key plays to swing or win multiple critical playoff games. He's an easy pick with that playoff impact factored into the equation.
And they're in the playoffs a lot, so he has a lot. He has more opportunities to have an impact. I scrolled by one accidentally, but the Niners. The Niners are the other one.
Yeah, Mike Evans has to be, right?
Yeah.
He's got Mike Evans, Christian McCaffrey, and Trent Williams.
Trent Williams has to be. McCaffrey indefinitively.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Because, I mean, as far as the dual threat that he is, who's a better dual threat at the running back position than Christian McCaffrey's been? Kamara seemed like he was on that level for a while, but not nearly for as long.
He has I didn't realize how long the list is of
I mean, he's an accomplished player.
his NFL
No
records.
question.
Most receptions by a running back in a single season in league history. He's the only running back to ever have 3 seasons with 100 or more receptions. Most games with at least 1 or more rushing and 1 or more receiving touchdowns in league history. Most seasons with 800-plus receiving yards by a running back, tied with Marshall Faulk. Only the 3rd player in league history to record over 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving in a single season, joining Roger Craig and Marshall Faulk, a couple of Hall of Famers. It goes on and on, the amount of Panthers records, Niners records. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, just looking at it, he's a Hall of Famer. So there you go. The Titans are on this list. Bill Barnwell.
Should we guess? Because there's
okay.
no one that's in.
Right. No, not
no one that's
all
in.
right. So don't look at my screen.
All right.
Who would you guess is in the keep it up?
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff is coming off a career best season. He may get better if he's healthy.
Keep it up.
In this Robert solid defense, is he the only one in the keep it up category?
For the Titans, yes. He says if the 29-year-old can be this player for a few more seasons, he has a real path to the Hall, which
Okay.
I think we'd agree with, right? In the clip that he played at last year.
Yeah.
There is
Now he's only got so many years to do it, right?
Right. No, I mean, he would have to.
The clock is ticking.
I feel like what we saw last year, the best season of his career,
Yeah.
we'd probably have to see 3 more times.
I think.
A couple?
I think at least.
Yeah.
And he'd have to be in the postseason.
Yes.
He'd have to be in the postseason.
Yeah, like somebody like Chris Jones. The rings help push it over the edge.
Jeff has been in the postseason 3 times, right? 19, 20, 21.
There is one other Titans player here. He is in the work-to-do category. Who is in the work-to-do category?
Morgan Cox?
Oh, not Morgan Cox, but he should be.
Right?
He should be in, man.
Morgan Cox should be in.
You know what, Bill Barnwell? We need to put in a call
Morgan
to Bill
Cox
Barnwell.
should be in.
This is Morgan Cox erasure.
How? Long snappers matter too.
He should be in.
14 years? I think this is his 15th.
Yeah. No, you're right.
He's still the best long snapper in football.
You're right.
He should be in. He's got Super Bowl. He's got a Super Bowl.
No, there is an offensive player in the work-to-do category, but he is mentioned on this list.
Tony?
Nope. He's one of the best players on the offense.
Skoronski?
Skoronski. Yeah. Bill Barnwell puts Skoronski in the work to do. He says Skoronski has steadily improved over the course of his 3 years in the league and was unlucky to miss out on the Pro Bowl last season. He has played every snap for the Titans over the past 2 years. Skoronski was the only guard to rank in the top 5 for both pressure rate allowed and blown block rate. Another small step forward.
Blown block rate?
Should start a steady stream of trips to the Pro Bowl.
What is a blown block rate?
Something from the FTN Football Almanac. I don't know I've never heard of blown block rate.
That sounds like a bad thing. Like that you blew the block. Right?
Blown block
I
rate.
have an FTN fantasy subscription.
It's an advanced football metric tracked by Sports Info Solutions that measures the percentage of total blocking snaps where an offensive lineman fails to execute their assignment. So
Okay, so his percentage is low.
It's
his
low.
percentage
Yes.
is low. Got it. Okay. Well, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, you're not going to make the argument for Calvin. You're not going to make obviously Cam and all the young guys. You can't say anything
right
remotely close
enough. But Skoronski would have to be
the best guard. He would have to be Quentin Nelson for the rest of his career
for a good 10 years.
You know,
for another decade. So there is work to do.
Dixie says
he gets mentioned.
That is a category, work to do. Dixie on YouTube says Skoronski would need to make the Pro Bowl 10 straight times, or excuse me, make 10 straight All-Pro teams. He says, not even the Pro Bowl. Team Ramrod on YouTube says, Buck, use your brain, man. LOL. Come on, what? I don't understand. I just don't think there's any players that are outside of Jeff that are Hall of Fame caliber potentially. So forgive me if I didn't get Skoronski.
I guess what Barnwell's saying, there's a scenario where Peter Skoronski
he's a good player,
becomes an elite guard for many years. That's what would have to happen, obviously.
I don't think that's a use your brain moment. I think that's grasping at straws to try and find 2 names to put on a list.
Yeah, he's about to get paid. He's probably about to be the highest paid guard in the league, Peter Skoronski, the market being what it is.
What does that look like right now, actually?
Oh, I can't remember who surpassed Trey Smith as of late.
That's a good. This is a good question for you. Who? Well, actually, I have a segment specifically blocked out around this because Tyler Smith and Trey Smith Matthew Bergeron, the Atlanta Falcons guard, just got paid too. So there are a number of different players making $20 million a year. So $20 million, Quentin Nelson, Robert Hunt in Carolina, Chris Lindstrom, 2 Falcons
Atlanta.
on this list. Trey Smith, Tyler Smith, Cowboys. Matthew Bergeron just got paid at $24 million a year.
Do we think Skoronski's above 24 a year?
No.
You don't think so?
No. He's had 1 year. Matthew Bergeron and Chris Lindstrom are a part of an offensive line unit that's been good for a considerable amount of time.
Well, sure, but
I bet he gets to 20.
That's not.
I bet he gets to 20. Lucas, before the season, I would have said 14 until somebody got $27 million to play center.
I hear what you're saying, but it's not like the criteria is this extended period of time. Darnell Wright, would you have said Darnell Wright's the best right tackle in football? Like, you don't have to be the best at your position to be the highest paid player at your position.
I don't know that he's far off, though.
Darnell Wright's the highest.
Is he far off?
Is Skoronski that far off from what he did last year?
I mean, he's in the top 10 list on guards and centers, right?
Darnell Wright kind of had his breakout last year. He got second-team All-Pro, but it's not like Darnell Wright has like a 7-year,
I don't think he's going to be the highest paid guard in football.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
They have the money.
Yeah, that's what I'm
could.
saying. Like, I'm to the point now where I'm expecting that to happen multiple times a year at almost every position.
Yeah, because Jeff's reign as the highest paid interior defensive lineman in NFL history lasted like a month.
Yeah, like 5 minutes. So
Not even.
It's more about the nature of the market than to say Skoronski is undoubtedly the best guard in all of football.
People are now guessing contract terms for Peter Skoronski in the FNM Bank chat. Two-toned blues says Peter is getting 4 years, 134. What does that break down to? 134 divided by 4.
Yeah, God,
you did that backwards.
I'm so stupid. 30.
I saw you doing it in real time.
4 divided by 134. It's 33 and a half.
Okay, no. No, he's not making $30 million.
We'll see, man. But like, how often?
No. I
do we
can
do
tell you
this?
definitively he's not making $30 million.
But could you have? And I know Tyler Linderbaum's the best center in football, but
he's not going to break the
us
number
away.
by $9 million.
I'm just saying. I think it's a fool's errand to predict these things with certainty. I agree. I don't think he's going to get 33. I do think he will be the highest paid guard in football.
Okay. Should we make a show bet?
Yeah. I mean, famously, we do not deliver on this
I don't
show.
know. I feel like we've been pretty good as of late. We'll have to think about it. We'll have to think. Maybe the chat can inspire us. Actually, the chat will just come up with something heinous that neither of us will want to do.
But people are getting paid around the league this week.
Yeah, a lot of contracts being handed out around the league. In fact, we can do some headlines. Yes? Coming up next.
Football is back tonight as the Hall of Fame game is here. And to celebrate, it is time for NFL headlines with one Lucas Panzica.
Here we go, Zach. Some gusto. Well done. Well done.
Just sounds like he's slobbering on the microphone when he does that.
I think that's the whole point, right? That's what Robert does.
Not for the people that use it afterwards.
Who's training him back there?
Well, that's a different matter entirely.
Good job, Zach.
Well done.
People are getting paid around the league and in the AFC South as Jonathan Taylor has reached an agreement with the Indianapolis Colts, a 2-year, $44 million extension. The deal has a max value of $47 million, $39 million guaranteed. It is the third largest deal for a running back in league history. Jahmyr Gibbs just broke the record the other day. The Lions are getting...
Well, no. Jahmyr Gibbs is...
I'm sorry. Bijan Robinson broke the record the other day. Jahmyr Gibbs is nearing a deal.
Yes.
Jordan Schultz, in fact, literally just reported that the Lions and Gibbs have made substantial progress on a 3-year extension that will likely make him the league's highest-paid running back. He'll probably shoot right past Bijan Robinson, but Taylor gets his deal. And, man, Jonathan Taylor kind of had that one huge season.
He's had more than one. He's had more than you think.
Well, what I'm saying is we've not talked about him enough since that 1,800-yard season in 2021 because he dropped off a bit with injuries in 2022. He went back-to-back years without being a 1,000-yard rusher.
There was some reason to think that he didn't want to be there anymore. I don't know if you remember that. He was kind of dissatisfied with the situation and was potentially seeking a trade.
Now this dude is on back-to-back 1,400-plus yard seasons.
Yeah.
Last year, rushed for 1,585 yards, averaged 4.9 yards per carry, had tied a career high with 18 rushing touchdowns, and had a career high 378 receiving yards. And this is a guy that's 27. I mean, he'll turn 28 in January. Feels like has some good years left in him. And look, maybe it's premature, but we can look at that Bill Barnwell article and see what category he put Jonathan Taylor in the Hall of Fame discussion, because this is a dude that's at 7,598 rush yards with a lot left in the tank, it seems.
Well, you forget how young he is.
Yeah.
I think with Jonathan Taylor.
What category do you think Barnwell put him in?
I'd say, what category is Jeff in? Keep going.
Jeff is in keep
going.
It up. Keep it up.
Keep it up?
Yeah.
I bet Jonathan Taylor's in keep it up.
Yeah, I'd probably.
That would make the most sense to me.
He is in work to do.
Okay. Is that worse?
Yeah, I think it's a level below keep it up.
Okay.
He says Taylor was the best back in 2021.
Yeah, because he's got Tyler Warren in there, too. Tyler Warren just got here.
He says...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
He should be above
come on.
Latu, Sauce Gardner, and Tyler Warren. He should definitely
Sauce
be...
Gardner shouldn't be in the conversation. Sauce Gardner's had like 2 good years.
No, I agree.
That's nuts. All right, I'm out on Barnwell.
He says Quentin Nelson's in.
Well, yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Quentin Nelson he's one of the 5 guards that you might be able to name, right?
But yeah, JT gets paid.
Okay, so what does that tell us about the way that the Colts want to run the offense? They wanted to run through Jonathan Taylor, right? Especially not understanding how full go you will have yet from Daniel Jones. He is expected to be a full participant, has been a full participant. Fortunately for them and fortunately for him, coming off that Achilles injury and also a fracture, if I remember correctly. I believe it was a fractured tibia or fibula that he experienced before the Achilles fully went. But they want the offense to run through Jonathan Taylor. They still have a diverse enough skill player group, even without Michael Pittman, who's now a Pittsburgh Steeler, for those of us who have forgotten.
They paid Alec Pierce.
They did pay Alec Pierce. They do have Tyler
Jones.
Warren. They do have Josh Downs. They did pay Daniel Jones. They've had that offensive line in place for some time. So, yeah, the offense needs to go through Jonathan Taylor. That's the way that Shane Steichen wants to operate. Basically, think of it as Philadelphia, but in the AFC.
Yeah. So there you go. JT gets his deal to keep it in the AFC South. The Texans are paying linebacker Henry To'oTo'o. We talked about Henry T in the VFL VF Hell Nah discussion. He falls under the VF Hell Nah category.
Put some respect on Henry To'oTo'o.
He's a good player.
You guys loved Henry To'oTo'o.
Yes. And
then he went to Alabama.
That's right, and which was his prerogative to do so. And at the time, it looked like it was a good decision.
So you've forgotten all the good things that Henry To'oTo'o did for you.
I don't blame Henry T for going to Alabama.
Sounds like you do.
But there are consequences to that. And the consequence to him was losing to Tennessee in his first trip back to Neyland and losing VFL status.
That was the first time they had beaten, right? That's the first win over Alabama with Heupel.
Yeah, that was that 2022 game.
Bryce Young and
Henry
Hendon
T was
Hooker,
on the field for that game. Anyway, that's not the point. He agreed to a 2-year, $16 million extension, according to NFL Network. He can earn another $1 million in incentives on the deal. He is under contract with Houston through 2028.
I don't know if are you like Pate when these guys go to the pros, you just kind of forget about them? I mean, obviously we talk about an NFL team, so you don't completely lose track of them.
No.
But like, did you think Henry To'oTo'o was going to be an NFL player of consequence? Because I don't. I mean, he's undersized.
He was undersized. That was really the big knock on
Yeah.
him. I'm not an evaluator, so I don't
I know.
have an intimate knowledge of his weaknesses.
But when you
apart
looked
from
at that player on your roster with Tennessee, did you think that's for sure an NFL football player?
Yeah, I thought he was an extremely talented player.
Okay.
100%. Like
Okay.
he came in, remember, a 5-star blue chip prospect, came in as a centerpiece of that Jeremy Pruitt defense, goes to Alabama where he's a standout player. Always thought Henry T was going to be was an elite player that was going to have an NFL future. Didn't know what that would look like because of the size questions, but he's not the highest paid linebacker in the league, but 2 years, $16 million.
$8 million a year is decent money.
And they paid Alshire this
for an off-ball
too.
linebacker. They're paying everybody on that defense because we haven't talked about Jadeveon Clowney.
We have not talked about Jadeveon Clowney.
It's because how much does it actually matter?
He's back in Houston. I mean, you tell me he's made an impact literally everywhere he's been.
How many seasons?
Here.
How many seasons do you think he's had double-digit sacks?
0.
Never.
Okay, he had 8.5 sacks last year as a 32-year-old.
Do you know how many sacks he had here?
0. It's the only time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's made an impact everywhere
but here.
except here.
It is crazy how bad their luck was from like 2020 to 2023 as far as free agents and draft picks
This
go,
is
man.
a good move from the Texans. You basically, did they bring back Derrick Barnett? I think he's a free agent.
I don't think Derrick Barnett's on a roster, but you might fact
He's
check me
not.
on
So
that. Okay.
Derrick Barnett out, Jadeveon Clowney in? Absolutely. 33 years old, coming off an 8.5 sack season in Dallas.
I don't think he's a better pass rusher than Barnett is. I think he's just a good football player. I think he's a run stopper.
That's fine. That's all they need. They have freaking Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. They have an embarrassment
no, they don't need him.
of riches. It's a great move for Houston. Bring back the guy you drafted number 1 overall who's still producing.
Well, it's a feel-good story, right? I guess. I don't know. I wonder how Texans fans view him, because I remember him being a bit of a controversial figure when he first got there. Because he also, and he got hurt very early on in his rookie season.
Yeah.
The only 2 seasons that he's had 0 sacks are here in Tennessee.
And rookie year.
For the historically worst third down defense in NFL history since the merger in 1967. And his rookie year where I believe he only played in like 3 games.
1 year up to $8 million is the deal with Houston.
Man, that's fine. That's good money if you're Clowney. You don't have to do much. And that's kind of what Clowney wants to do anyway, right? He wants to pick his spots. He's a rotational player. Gets the feel good of going back to an AFC title contender.
Did he live up
No.
to what he was supposed to be? Like, no.
Hell
right?
no.
Yeah.
He was thought to be a generational player. And the thing, Lucas, the conversation, because I know you were, I don't know, were you taking a nap on the couch during Cosell?
Lounging.
Okay, lounging. Well, you did bring your loungewear today. I'm curious. Are you going somewhere?
Being here is like being on vacation.
Okay, very good. So, Cosell mentioned this earlier. Jadeveon Clowney has never been an excellent pass rusher. Like, he does get pressure. He does get sacks, but he's never been a top flight. You've never thought of him the way you think of J.J. Watt, right? Which is what he was drafted to be. He was drafted with the number 1 overall pick to be J.J. Watt.
No,
he's nowhere close.
He's a freak. He was a freak.
He's an athletic freak, but it's not translated to his NFL skill set that way. So I think he's had a good NFL career, right? Because he's in year 12.
Yeah,
2014
drafted
draft?
in 14, yeah.
Yeah, so he's in year 12. He's had an NFL. To me, he's not the same conversation because, again, he's a number 1 overall pick, so you have higher expectations of that. But he's kind of in the same category as Tannehill to me, where he's had a good NFL career, right?
Yeah.
But Ryan Tannehill was drafted to be a franchise quarterback in Miami. That didn't work out for the Dolphins. Ended up being a franchise quarterback here, as a matter of fact, for, you might say, 4 years.
Yeah.
3.5 years.
I mean, looking at his numbers, you're right. He did not live up to what he was meant to be with the number 1 overall pick. He has been a good player, but my brain is like this meld of college football and NFL memories. And anybody that has a where were you moment like Clowney did in that bowl game against Michigan, To me, holds
on Taylor Lewan's side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Outback Bowl to me holds a higher esteem. So yeah, I look at his numbers in the NFL and it's like, oh yeah, he never did have a double-digit sack season.
It's crazy to think about.
But man, he was a freak at USC that 2012 year. Man, it's just in 23 and a half TFLs, 13 sacks, 3
Yeah, but
forced
look at him,
fumbles.
Lucas. If you're a college football player, the average college football player, he's a freak.
Yeah.
But, you can still be freakish at the NFL level and not have that same level of impact.
Elsewhere, Odell Beckham Jr. is reportedly impressing at Giants training camp. This is from Jordan Renan at ESPN saying Odell strung together his second straight strong day at practice Wednesday as he tries to revive his career. Odell met with the media. He is, I remind folks, 33 years old. He has been on a bit of a hiatus.
He
Odell
should be
Beckham.
older than that in my head. The fact that he's only a year older than Calvin Ridley's crazy.
He'll turn 34 in November, so he'll separate a little bit from Calvin there. But Odell has not played since the 2024 season where he appeared in 9 games and had 9 catches for Miami. So it's been a couple of years. He spoke saying, quote, "I'm just trying to be present each and every day, prove to myself that I am who I know I am." And I'm like, LeBron James used to take off before the free throw line, and now if he's taking off with his right foot in front of it, he's still got a different game, but he's still playing at a high level. I believe I can play at a high level. So
LeBron's also almost 10 years older than him.
Odell citing LeBron, talking about, I can still do this.
He might be able to. They need him. I mean, look, Malik Neighbors isn't playing.
Malik Neighbors is
So you're
injured.
looking at Darius Slayton, Calvin Austin.
Here's the
Is Hyatt still there? He can't be worth a damn.
he's
if he
still
is.
there, but at this point, he's
Jalen Hyatt.
he's
What a wild
bust.
disappointment.
Total
That
bust,
is.
yeah.
Was he a first round pick?
No, he was
third round
I want to
pick.
say second.
I think he was a third. I don't think they had.
Yeah, you're right. He was a third.
Him and Tillman both went the third, if I'm remembering correctly.
He's in the final year of his rookie deal, but he
Yeah.
was a third. Is Malik Neighbors?
He's still not practicing.
Because that's crazy, man. That was early season.
Think about Mahomes. Think about Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Then think about Micah and Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors was week 3.
Yeah, it's insane. Micah was week 16?
Yeah. To 15. Pat and
15,
Micah were
yeah.
week 15 because we were in San Francisco.
So he's not at training camp, Malik Neighbors. What's the timeline?
He is there, I'm sure, but he's not on the field doing stuff.
As of a week ago, he took part in an individual portion of a full team practice for the first time since suffering the knee injury.
But hasn't been back out there.
Has not out there for full practice.
Yeah.
So they're kind of going week to week.
And
day
that's
to day.
fine if they want to keep him in bubble wrap until they absolutely have to. But at a certain point, you have to let him get out there and play football.
But yeah, they've got healthy. They have Darius Slayton, Darnell Mooney, Calvin Austin,
You don't feel good about any of that.
and Malachi Fields, who they drafted in the 3rd round, plus Odell.
I'm all set on that. They've got Juju Smith-Schuster running around out
Juju
there.
still Braxton Berrios. It's a who's who of remember that guy?
Braxton Berrios. Goodness. What is Braxton Berrios? Braxton Berrios, infinitely more famous for being Alex Earl's ex-boyfriend than he is a football player.
I remember that being a thing, but I still couldn't tell you who Alex Earl is. She's
Well,
like an influencer.
This is one of those things where you are aging out. And I understand this as somebody who is also aging out at 33. Do we have anything else? Those the headlines?
Pretty much. We already mentioned that Stephon Diggs is reportedly set to join the Commanders on a 1-year deal.
How do we feel about that?
We have some money on it. ESPN is saying a 1-year deal worth up to $12 million to play opposite Scary Terry. Back to where
Jaden Daniels more hell, man.
back to the area where he played college ball in Maryland.
What is that? What is their?
He was a
their
good player last year, Stephon Diggs.
No, he was fine. I mean, he didn't do much of consequence for
I
them
think
in the Super Bowl.
that is giving Jaden Daniels more help. Who else do you want them to sign right now?
No, I know right now. I mean, I think Keenan Allen is still out there, so it's just kind of veteran wide receiver X in their 30s.
Dan Keenan Allen.
Technically, DeAndre Hopkins is still available, even though he's on Georgia Tech's coaching staff.
Allen is 34, coming off 777-yard season.
So, Scary Terry, Stephon Diggs, Luke McCaffrey, Traylon Burks, Van Jefferson. Dimey Brown is back there, too. He was in Jacksonville last year for a year. I guess he ended up back in Washington. The only good game he ever had was against Caleb Farley and the Titans. So, no, not an ideal situation for Jaden Daniels. Washington is the team I think I have the least figured out.
They are so fascinating because it's like on one hand, could they get hot? Daniels rediscovers that rookie year form.
Can he stay healthy
and
and
make
they
a
get
deep
hot?
push? On the other hand, there's such a scenario where the Dan Quinn era just expires there, and it was just a good sort of get off the ground situation with new ownership and a rookie quarterback, and they bring somebody in to really help maximize Daniels in this offense. But, yeah, I'm with you. They're kind of all over the place on their expectations.
615-737-1045, the number. We are out here at Titans training camp practice. Practice is ongoing. No fans on the field, so we will update you on what happened today at practice after at 12:15 today. Pat Coogan will join us. We'll have Robert Saleh's press conference. You'll hear from guys like Tajay Spears and Jacob Martin, I believe, is one of the players speaking today, the new edge rusher that will be Jermaine Johnson's primary running mate. It looks like he's going to be the primary running mate for Jermaine Johnson between he and Femi Oladejo, and depending on how they go about how often you see Keldrick Falk out on the edge versus, I mean, could you put JFM out there? Can you put Jeff out there? There's going to be a number of different players who are trying to make contributions for this defense. This is one that has experience with Robert Saleh's defense, however, so we'll look forward to hearing from him later in the show. Coming up next, which team do you fear the most in the AFC South if you're meaning to compete this year? Actually compete. We can talk about that. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. What do I have to do to never hear this song again, Kroll?
It says your name next to it. I thought that means you like it.
Take it out of there. Get rid of it.
I think you literally
I don't think that's true.
requested Robert for it.
I don't think that's true. I do send Robert song requests, of which he usually does acquiesce, but that one I can go the rest of my life without hearing. Welcome back to the show.
I think you requested it, and then we were all like, "This is terrible," and you were like, "Yeah, terrible."
That
Take
sounds
it off.
about right.
Take it off.
That sounds about right. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. 615-737-1045, the number if you want to jump in. Titans practice ongoing. We'll get you updated at the end of practice today. Who's the best team in the AFC South? We just talked about the Colts re-signing Jonathan Taylor. We just talked about Jadeveon Clowney coming back to the Houston Texans. Obviously, Henry To'oTo'o getting a deal as well. Who is the best team in this division?
Well, there are two conversations here. It is who's the biggest threat out of the AFC South, writ large across the NFL, and who is the scariest AFC South team for the Titans to face.
Okay. Which conversation would you rather have?
Starting with the Titans.
Because the answer to the latter is the Texans.
Is the Texans, right? Like,
your offensive line is not good, and their defensive line is very good.
Very good. Like, for Cam Ward's sake, God forbid you go into that game banged up on the offensive line.
When do they play the Texans?
Or
for the first
banged
time?
up at the tackle spot.
Yeah, I mean, they you know what? In fact, they were banged up. Dan Moore didn't play in that game at Houston.
That was a terrible
and
game.
Who are you telling? Oliudo held up relatively well, but it all just fell apart. It was a disaster from start to finish. They see the Texans in Week 5. That is their first home game back after 2 consecutive road games at the Giants and at the Ravens. And then they will not see the Texans again until season's end. We don't have a specific date on that. That could be a Saturday or a Sunday game. More likely a Saturday game, if I had to guess. But, yeah, I mean, it's not even a conversation, though. But although Jacksonville's defense is good.
Yeah.
Like the Jags defense can cause them problems, too. Jonathan Hines-Allen. You've got Trayvon Walker, who is a quality player. They found ways to keep both of their coordinators in-house because both of those dudes interviewed for head coaching jobs this year. Campanelli is the name of the defensive coordinator. I can't think of the offensive coordinator off the top of my head.
ESPN Bet has the Texans as the favorite, plus 110. The Jags as the second favorite, plus 245.
I think I'd take the Jags to win the Super Bowl this year. I think they're the best team in the AFC. Now, the NFC is way better as a conference, but if you ask me to pick my AFC representative for the Super Bowl, which always goes well.
Just feels like a big leap.
Why?
Like, I like the Jags, and I like Trevor Lawrence's trajectory.
So why is that a leap then? Because that should be. They made it to the playoffs. They look like a playoff team. This is second year for Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen.
Came up short against Buffalo, but like, are they better than the Broncos? Is that defense better than the Broncos?
They went to Denver and beat them head-to-head last year. It's not better. It's not 1-1. You would take the Broncos unit over the Jags unit. Trevor Lawrence went into Denver and beat them. In fact, I think that's the only home game they lost that year.
Okay, what do you like about the Jags other than Trevor Lawrence's best year of his career and under Liam Cohen?
I think their defense is good.
Why?
Because they are a good defense. They're a well-orchestrated defense. They play the run well. They can get pressure when they need to. Their coordinator is somebody who's well-respected in the league. I think that they can be as good of a unit, if not better, this coming year. They've added pieces and parts. I'm curious to see what becomes of Travis Hunter. But, like, Lucas, you look at their wide receiver room, it's pretty solid. What do we think of the question is Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yeah, like, what's solid about it? Like, Brian Thomas Jr. is a good player, had a terrible drop-off last year.
He said he was playing through injury all last year for whatever you make of that.
And no idea if Travis Hunter can stay healthy through a whole year. So what?
I don't care about Travis Hunter as a
else?
wide receiver. I don't think you should completely ignore his offensive impact.
Okay.
But their running game is great. Their running game is one of the best in the NFL. Their offensive line unit is solid. And Trevor Lawrence is an ascending player at the quarterback position. Hell yeah, I'd take them.
So Parker Washington.
Did you see what Parker Washington did last year?
I understand what you're saying. We're talking about winning the Super Bowl. Okay?
Yes.
Like Parker Washington.
No, I'm talking about going to being the AFC representative from the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I think whoever
being in the Super Bowl.
The NFC representative, I would imagine.
Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, and Brian Thomas coming off a terrible year.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, man.
Jacoby Myers was great for them.
I get what you're doing, but it's just, I don't know. It's a big leap, I feel like. I think the Jags are going to be good. I'm surprised that they are as far back as they are, at least on ESPN Bet. I probably have more confidence in the Jags than the Texans.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you? They're not even the favorite in their own division. I think they're the infinitely better football team.
Sure, I just like why do everything has to be extremes? Like the Jags can be good, but Jags are going to be in the Super Bowl. Like I don't know. I get we got to do this. It's radio. But I don't know. I just think that's taking it a couple bridges too far. I mean, who knows? The Patriots.
Trevor Lawrence or Bo Nix?
Nobody would have put the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Trevor Lawrence or Bo Nix?
1-1 Trevor Lawrence, but
Trevor Lawrence or Derrick May?
Situationally.
Trevor Lawrence or Derrick May? Let's just do this quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence or Derrick May?
That's a tough one.
Okay.
That one's tough.
Who's a better quarterback in the AFC?
Yeah, but it's not a quarterback duel. It's situational.
I understand,
right?
but I'm talking about the most important position and the thing that people talk about needing to get to the Super Bowl most.
Who between Lawrence and May?
Yeah.
That's a tough question. It's a 1 year sample size of like what they can be.
Outside of Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, how many quarterbacks in the AFC are better than Trevor Lawrence?
I would take May over Lawrence.
But you have to think about it.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it, but I would take May over Lawrence, still on the rookie contract, and the ascension that could be for Drake May, where it took Trevor Lawrence this long to finally look like anything close.
Kroll just got in my ear and said, what about Justin Herbert? Justin Herbert is a perpetual choking dog, and maybe Mike McDaniel cures that. But that guy sucks in a postseason.
And Trevor Lawrence is a postseason, like, how many wins does he have in the postseason?
He's had far fewer opportunities than Herbert. He does have a win head-to-head over Herbert, but that's because Herbert pooped himself in the second half of that game.
Yeah.
That's one of the most ridiculous. You remember that playoff game? That's one of the most ridiculous playoff games I've ever seen in my life.
Sure, but like I'm not going to go all the way to the extreme. Like the Jags still have to show a lot. Yeah, like Trevor Lawrence 1-1, Bo Nix.
There are 4 quarterbacks in the AFC I would take over Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, that doesn't make them.
Yes,
like,
it does.
There's so many other things that have to happen
yes,
for them to be in the Super Bowl.
Yes, to have a good defense, a complimentary run game, a coaching staff that's good at their job. Yes, they have all of those things.
Bibbidi Bobbidi says you're too caffeinated.
I haven't had any coffee yet.
It's the caffeine talking.
I wish I had some coffee. They don't have any coffee for us up here.
Yeah, I don't know. That it's just a bridge too far for me. We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't have said the Patriots would be in the Super Bowl, but who knows?
I think that the Jags are the team to beat in the AFC South this year. I mean, how could you say anything else when you see C.J. Stroud the way that C.J. Stroud has performed these last 2 years and with one of the most epic playoff meltdowns we've ever seen?
Yeah, sure. No, I'm with you on that. Like,
yeah, in the division is an easy conversation.
If I had to put money on it, I'd put it on the Jags over the Texans, even though the Texans' defense I do think is substantially better than the Jags' defense. But no, I mean, you talk about teams out of the AFC that I'd favor to go to the Super Bowl before Jacksonville. The Chiefs still have Pat Mahomes. I'm favoring the Chiefs. If you want to talk about just quarterback, the Denver Broncos have a better situation.
I don't know that I would take the Chiefs head-to-head over the Jags.
Well, you were just playing this game at quarterback, but now that when we flip it around and it's Pat Mahomes versus Trevor Lawrence, now it is more complicated.
No, look at their skill position players. Tell me you don't like the Jags guys more than you like the Chiefs guys.
Who are the Chiefs' biggest receiver threats now?
One of them just got hurt. Worthy, I think, just got hurt again.
And we got Rashee Rice.
Rashee Rice at whatever point, I guess. 75-year-old Travis Kelce.
Yeah, but
the other white tight end that's running around out there.
I'm favoring the Bills over the Jags, the Broncos over the Jags, the Ravens over the Jags.
Jags almost beat the Bills, and it was one of the best Josh Allen performances all year that it took to take the Jags. Again, last year's results don't matter. Like if year over year translated the way that we like to think it does, then NFL results would be much easier to predict.
I agree that
I'm just saying there's not that many teams in the AFC I like more than the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I agree that they're not getting enough attention, and Liam Cohen talked about that. He loves the attention they're not getting. It's that yummy rat poison, as Nick Saban said. But
did he do the rat poison?
He didn't say rat poison, but he.
That's the theme.
Yeah, we can probably find the audio. It'd be pretty easy to find, talking about, I'm loving it. I'm not seeing us being talked about anywhere. And he's celebrating it, that kind of deal. I'm going to send it in. Zach, we should actually hear this from Liam Cohen. I just sent it in to our little Twitter chat there.
Oh, somebody said in the chat, Baker to the Texans next year. That would be not good for you.
If we could hear from Liam Cohen, if you have it, Zach, whenever you have it, on basically the Jags getting next to no attention, which they're not right now in the national conversation about teams that can threaten out of the AFC.
No, you're right. You know what I said to the staff the other day was, I go, guys, this is the best part of coaching the Jacksonville Jaguars. You don't have to make up telling your players stuff.
Yeah,
you don't have to make up the fire. You don't have to make it up. It's given to us every day.
Yeah.
And it's like a welcome. It's a gift from the heavens. From you just scroll. I just go pull up my phone, look at the NFL Network website, and just pop up here. And I'm just curious if I see any photos or anything about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think I'll just scroll right on through.
You keep going, yeah.
I think I'll see 40 pictures of Caleb Williams, and I won't see a single thing about any of our players on here. And so it's beautiful because it's like, yeah, guys, this is great. Thanks.
The gift that keeps on giving.
I'm going to tell all these guys how much you all think they suck.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep going.
Yeah, well, and what's beautiful about that is like you don't have to manufacture.
I don't.
It.
Yeah.
Makeup, some goes to the room.
They do see through. They see through.
Yeah,
the
right. They do.
players.
Right.
They see through fraudulent. They see through when you're not being honest with them. And so if you're constantly having to try to manufacture, like, the teams that are at the top. At the top of the hill, and they got to make up stuff in order to,
the Chiefs, no one thought we could do it a couple of years ago.
It's just the way it is. Yeah, right. So, we don't have that luxury, but we do have the luxury of this is helpful.
There you go. That's Liam Cohen talking to 1010 XL in Jacksonville.
Who has the hardest time motivating their team that way as a team with success, right? Because the Chiefs are a good example of that. It's like Georgia and Kirby Smart. Who's that player with the newspaper on the sideline saying, y'all picked us to go 7-6 or 6-6?
Yeah.
Something like that. What are you talking about? 615-737-1045. Practice will be over in about 20 minutes from now. Out here at the Titans practice facility, we'll have center Pat Coogan. One of the rookies in this year's class no, that's not the first rookie we've talked to. We've had Carnell Tate on the show already at training camp. So we'll talk to Coogan about the competition at center, if a competition actually exists, and about the transition for a rookie offensive lineman into Carmen Brasillo's system here in Tennessee. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
12:02. Good afternoon from Vanderbilt Health Football Center at Titans Training Camp. I'm Lucas Panzica. Practice getting close to wrapping up. No fans out here today at Titans Training Camp. Robert Saleh is set to meet with the media coming up shortly after practice. Rookie center Pat Coogan will join the show as well. In NFL news, different players in the AFC South getting paid today. Jonathan Taylor agreeing to a 2-year, $44 million extension with the Indianapolis Colts, a max value of $47 million. It includes $39 million guaranteed as the running back finalizes his deal. And in Houston, former Tennessee and Alabama linebacker Henry To'oTo'o has agreed to a 2-year extension worth $16 million. He can earn another $1 million in incentives on the deal under contract with the Texans through 2028. The Hall of Fame game is tonight. There will be football on your TVs and radios. Kenny Pickett starting at QB for Carolina. Carson Beck starting for Arizona. The Hall of Fame game in Canton kicks off at 7. You can hear the Westwood One call right here on The Zone. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Final hour is upon us here at the Titans practice facility. Titans practice is still ongoing. We will update you on the things that happened today in short order over in about 12 minutes from now. No fans on the field means no live practice updates, unfortunately for you, but that's okay. 615-737-1045, the number. If you want to get involved, like Lucas mentioned, we'll have Pat Coogan on the show. I'm going to do my best to not do a full 30 minutes of Indiana football talk with him, but I'm going to be tempted because he's my hero. Him and Fernando Mendoza and Kurt Signetti. Are there very many beloved offensive linemen? Like is Pat Coogan to me what Trey Smith is to you?
No, because you didn't know who Pat Coogan was probably until like December of last year.
But Notre Dame fan.
I mean, Pat Coogan obviously accomplished more on the field. Trey Smith, unfortunately, was in a rough period of Tennessee football, but the way he endeared himself to Tennessee fans, Coogan also spent just the 1 year at Indiana, right? And Trey, went to Tennessee instead of Alabama, who he actually grew up rooting for, but decided to represent his home state program. It's a good question. Both definitely legends.
615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to jump in, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is how you can jump in the F&M Bank chat if you're so inclined. We will have practice updates for you shortly. We'll also hear from Tajay Spears, Jacob Martin. I believe there's another Titans player along with Robert Saleh, the head coach, who will speak after practice. We will carry all of those press conference in some form or fashion moving forward. People seem to like our stock up, stock down game yesterday. It's always an easy way to talk about things that you've seen from Titans training camp. I want to circle back around to the Gunnar Helm conversation that we were having. I don't think he's going to start for them. Like, I think there will be games that he starts, but I don't think he's the Titans' primary tight end. And I wonder how many people would be surprised. And again, nothing is definitive. We could come revisit this conversation at year's end, and he ends up having 5 or 6 more snaps than does Daniel Bellinger. I keep wanting to call him Garrett Bellinger. Is there a Garrett Bellinger in the NFL? Garrett Dellinger is on this roster. Very good. That's an offensive lineman. Look at me.
Look at Zach, who pointed it out.
No, I knew who Garrett Dellinger was.
No, it didn't sound like it.
It's okay. We don't learn their names till week 1, for real.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So, who's the best tight end in a Brian Daboll offense in the NFL? Kincaid, right? Probably Dalton Kincaid in terms of production.
And that had to be, and he's not really lived up to what he was supposed to be as a first-round pick, right?
Yeah, he was so awesome at Utah, and he came to Buffalo. He's there in 2023.
But I don't think
you know what? He didn't.
I don't think he was with Daboll.
He didn't play for Daboll.
Dawson
Thank
Knox
you,
is
Zach.
and Dawson Knox is local.
Brentwood Academy. Yep.
If I'm not mistaken.
Brentwood Academy, went to Ole Miss. Dawson Knox, so his best year in Buffalo was his career year in 2021, had 587 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns. And that was Brian Dable coordinating that offense. So that's probably the most, unless the
it's going to be up there
Giants-
because they haven't had as dynamic a receiver in that offense. But Bellinger is probably one of the better tight ends that they've had in that New York Giants offense. They did have that 1 year with, or at least part of a year, with, I'm blanking on him, he played for the Raiders, and then he ended up with the Dolphins last year. He came out of retirement to play for the Dolphins. Darren Waller.
Yeah, that's
had a hot second.
That's going back, though.
Well, I know, but that was Daniel Jones, Brian Dable. I mean that.
Oh, it was.
Yes, absolutely. That was a big free agent acquisition for the Giants.
Yeah. You're right. 552 yards in 2023.
So, I mean, 550 yards is not inconsequential.
So that's the range we're talking about, that 500 to 600 yard range. 9 touchdowns is a big number for a tight end. Especially a tight end like Dawson Knox that is not like a volume guy.
Yeah. And he's more receiver than he is, 3-down tight end, right? He's not going to be used in blocking situations a whole lot. But I think that there's a lot of, and I'm not saying it's about Titans fans. I think it's, fantasy football people and things the like. There seems to be a lot of momentum around Gunnar Helm that I don't think it's like Chig, where Chig is a garbage time receiver primarily here in Tennessee. I'd be curious to see what happens to him in Washington. We didn't talk about him when it comes to Jaden Daniels' weapons in 2026. But I don't see in the Dable offense a tight end who is consistently targeted that way. Like, I think we're going to see far more volume to the wide receivers, even if the tight end can present you easy answers to the test, right? Wan'Dale Robinson is kind of that.
Yeah, if you had to say right now which tight end will lead the Titans in receiving, among tight ends.
In receiving?
Yeah, keeping it to tight ends. Which tight end will lead the Titans in receiving?
Joe Wilson.
Who?
He's on your roster. 83. No, I'm kidding. I might still say Helm. But I think it's going to have to be in chunk plays. I just don't think he's going to be the primary tight end on the field. Now, they could go multiple tight ends. They could find different ways to get them involved. We've seen Brian Dable do a lot as far as what his offense is, right? They like to move. They like to be on the ball quickly to give the quarterback as much time with the shot clock as humanly possible to be able to identify what's in front of him, be able to identify what he's seeing from the defense for the purposes of, but he's not running a Sean McVay offense, right? We're not going to see 3 tight end sets on a regular basis with Brian Dable, given the wide receivers that they have. Like, the wide receivers are definitely more Dable's MO and how they get involved in the offense versus what we see from the tight ends. I don't know if there's another player that has that kind of question mark around him, right? Because Gunnar Helm, we think, could be a viable option here. It's just how many opportunities he's going to get. It's a nice problem for the Titans to have for the first time in a while, where there just seems there's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah. Two-Tone Blues on the F&M Bank chat says that's the wrong question to ask about tight end.
What's that?
He says, we aren't throwing it to them. Who can block? Because our tackles need help.
Bellinger.
Yeah, that's why he's here.
Bellinger is a human tree trunk.
Who had 268 yards. I think that was his career year under Dable in New York, 2022.
But how many snaps did he play? I wonder, out of curiosity. I
I
don't
don't
think
have
you'd be
the
able to
snaps.
find that on. I could probably pull that up.
He
on
played in
Pro
12
Football Focus.
games, had 30 catches.
Yeah, I think he's playing a fair amount of snaps in that offense. I just don't think he's seeing targets the way that I think a lot of people would like to see Gunnar Helm targeted. But again, if the targets are going to Carnell Tate instead of Gunnar Helm, if the targets are going to Alec Iamaner instead of Gunnar Helm, I don't think the Titans fans are going to wring their hands a lot about it. I mean, that brings us back to the wide receiver group, and Alec has had a lot. I haven't seen necessarily anything tremendous out of Alec yet today. Maybe we'll get some practice updates on some plays that we missed at the end of practice. But Alec Iamaner has been one of the players that we've talked more about at camp. He, James Williams, Nick Singleton, how many other guys? Jermaine Johnson. How many other guys fit that category? Because those are the things to monitor, right? The trends to monitor. How much do we talk about them at training camp versus how much do they actually factor in once the season begins? And those are all players of consequence.
You know what I want so bad right now?
Ice cream.
Watermelon. Wouldn't that just hit the spot right now?
Sure. I got
get a watermelon, cut it in half, and then just get a spoon. You ever do that?
No.
You've never done that?
No.
Just sit there with half of a watermelon?
No, I've soaked a watermelon with vodka.
And I just scoop it with a spoon. Literally just eat it like it's out of a bowl. Oh, what I would give.
You think you just sit up here with a whole watermelon eating with a spoon and watching Titans practice? That'd be a visual.
Oh, that sounds like paradise.
You're in a tropical shirt.
Think practice is over?
I think it's over. So why don't we get Ross to give us some practice updates here? Because it didn't sound like there was much fireworks on the practice field today. We have been watching practice. They've been on field 3. No, it's over. They're doing push-ups, Kirby. I don't care anymore. As far as the as far as the rest of this goes, Ross is here in Robert's stead, so we'll see if Big J Journo Ross can live up to Big J Burt's.
Ross's roster reports.
Ah, yes, Ross.
Oh, I can't wait for the roster update.
Roster updates, yes. Very
Y'all had
good.
me working last year.
Okay, well, now it's your time to work. Go ahead. Proceed.
Well, it's definitely a tale of two halves. They worked mainly red zone today, and the defense flat out dominated the first period. I don't think there were many positive plays, if any, for the offense. And then had a little break for a few minutes. Offense came back out, and Cam Ward and the first group were on fire, and then kind of went back the defense's way after a tough play for the offense that kind of changed momentum in practice. So really good mix of offense showing some good things today, and then defense kind of stifling down and plastering everything well.
Is this your first day out at training camp?
This year, yes.
So what have you noticed that's maybe different from what you've seen last year? You don't have to get into specific scheme stuff, of course, but I know that you are coming away with positive feelings about the way that the offense is called.
Oh, I just love the way Brian Dable uses his players. We're seeing a lot of different things that we haven't seen the last couple of years, and it's a lot of stuff that to put it in its simplest forms, if you watch other NFL teams, other successful offenses around the league, they run the same type of stuff, and he's just doing it in his own way with the playmakers that we have. There's a lot of motion, which I love as well. I feel like that kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit under the last regime. So,
Dan Moore back at practice today. Kaharski reported that before practice began. So
That's
Dan
good
Moore
news.
Jr. Yeah, I mean, he didn't look like he was in significant pain when he had that one-on-one rep against Jermaine Johnson. He just looked like he was favoring one leg over the other there for a minute, but good to see that he did not miss an extended amount of time. Beyond that, James Williams had another interception, had a forced fumble that he was able to also recover, punched it out, and then recovered it from Kyle Granson. Tehran, reading Tehran's practice updates as well. We thought it might have been an interception just from our vantage point up here. Turns out he forced a fumble and then recovered that fumble for the defense. A player that continues to make waves here at training camp. Practice doesn't mean anything by the time we get to the season. Of course, we don't have the answer to that just yet. Sounded like more high snaps from Pat Coogan, which is unfortunate because that's been a part of the conversation around Pat Coogan so far. We can talk to the rookie center after practice today. We are going to carry Robert Saleh's press conference here in just a little bit, which is probably sooner rather than later. So why don't we go ahead and take a break here, and then when we come back, we'll hear from the head coach. We'll talk to Pat Coogan. We'll wrap practice up for the day here at the Titans practice facility. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Robert Saleh's up at the podium. We go live to the Titans head coach's press conference now.
Depth, Sed's doing a really nice job. Our linebacker depth has proven to be pretty good. I think James is having a really good camp. Cody's doing very well. The rookie's doing well. I can go all the way across the board. They're all doing pretty good in that group. Safety group, to see Kevin. I mean, again, like I said, it's unfortunate the result, but for him to show the range and the speed and the instinct to get to where he got on the football field, especially with the ball that was thrown, that is not a lot of people can do that. But you want disruptors at every level, and you want game changers on every part of the on offense. So it's good to see the defense kind of come together in that regard.
What will the scrimmage? What did y'all see in the rugby player brought in? And I know he got a look on offense. I think.
Yeah.
Raiders, is he just going to be defense?
Yeah, he'll be just defense. He's a big man that can move. Give him a shot. Let's see what happens. See if we can develop him. See if we can turn something. He's raw. He doesn't know the game of football, and you never know.
JFM or Simmons with the box?
Jeff. No. JFM.
JFM, okay. What will this scrimmage? Oh, no, I got to go correct.
I'll ask a question. Yeah. Bones was talking about how he encourages his veteran guys, even though they may be fighting for a roster spot, to share with the younger guys on information in terms of, what to do and how to do it and all that type of stuff. How big is that in terms of guys learning to be teammates even though they're competing?
That's empathetically, I can't really put myself in those shoes, in terms of it is competitive, right? You're trying to hold on to every edge you can, I can imagine, and but it's almost like when you look at an NFL locker room, it's like pay it forward. Someone gave those guys the knowledge they needed to get where they were, and so you're just paying it forward and making sure that you're being a great teammate, being selfless in that regard, even though you might be competing with that dude. But it's I think that's what makes the NFL locker room great. You see something, you say something, you share information, you help each other get better, and you trust that if you put great great plays on tape, one of the 32 teams will keep you.
What will this scrimmage look like?
It'll be it's similar to what we did in OTAs at the end of minicamp. There's nothing live. We'll play move the ball. We'll implement special teams. It'll flow like a game. Offense, if it's fourth and whatever, you'll see punts, you'll see touchdowns, you'll see field goals, you'll see extra points, you'll see kickoff coverage. So you're going to see basically the flow of the game, but it's offense versus defense. One offense versus one defense, two offense versus two defense. We do have a cool scoring system that to try to keep it competitive, but we're trying to make it as game-like as possible to see if we can get to. We're trying to get to about 90 plays total, so it'll be a pretty good day of work.
Why do you think it's important to do something like that for the fans too at this point in camp?
Say it again.
Why do you think it's important to do something like that for the fans too at this point in camp?
I think it's important for everyone. I think it's important for the players to get into the stadium, so that way the first time they're in a stadium isn't a preseason game. I think it's just it's all part of the acclimation. I think it's great to get the fans in there so they can see some of the new chants and slogans that might be being pushed by our marketing crew. I have no idea what's going on there, but something. No pressure. But I just think anytime you can involve the fans, it's a good thing.
Couple more? All set?
Sorry,
I got one more. Go ahead, Paul.
Your attack front,
Yep.
does it make you at all susceptible to screens?
For sure. There's we'll always get screened. We'll always get toss crack. We'll always get things that attack the perimeter, for sure, which is why we demand so much out of our guys, which is why if you're watching practice, you see them running sideline to sideline. Even if it was a normal pass play, we ask them to run out because they're running from sideline to sideline all game long. And it's the nature of how we get attacked. And those are I don't want to call them weaknesses, but they're definitely focal points for offenses, and we're aware of it.
Just curious about what you see from Oscar Schloman and what he provides at the center position.
He's stable. He knows the system. He's doing a really nice job in there. He's holding up really well. A great communicator. Gets us in the right protections when in the pass game. He gets us in the right call, whether it's run or pass. But it's been fun to watch him because it's not like he's going against slouches. I mean, Jeff Simmons is in there battling with him. Jordan's pretty damn good in there. Solly. we got a pretty damn good interior, and so it'll be good to see as preseason goes, going to San Francisco, working against those guys, and then again getting an opportunity versus Seattle and Chicago. So he's doing a really, really nice job so far.
Starting to see some separation or settling in maybe on who you'd like to be at the starting five on that offensive line?
Not close yet. Good question, fair question, but it's probably a question more for the third week of preseason, Chicago week.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's Robert Saleh at the podium. Less about practice today, which didn't have a high emphasis on it of high intensity, high energy. Of course, every time they're out here practicing, they expect effort and intensity, but this was a more low-key practice after 2 days in pads. And, of course, they have the scrimmage tomorrow. A little bit of information there for the people who are going to be attending the scrimmage. Lucas, I know you're going to be floating somewhere in
Lobelville, the Buffalo River.
Okay. I'm looking.
I'll be in the murky waters of the Buffalo.
Yeah, because they're not clear, right? You can't say the pristine blue waters of the Buffalo River.
Oh, they're perfect.
Well, I hope you get sun. I hope you get a lot of sun.
So Saleh saying that JFM is dealing with a lower back and Alec Iomanner is dealing with a shoulder.
So Iomanner is somebody who's obviously got a lot of hype around him so far. JFM is critically important. Anything, at this point, if these guys come up with anything of consequence or anything that's even remotely nagging them, it doesn't make sense to put them out there this early on in the process. They've got a huge week next week where they'll have one joint training camp practice. Are we worried at all about sending them to San Francisco?
What do you mean? Oh.
What do you mean? What do I mean? Have you seen the Niners?
I haven't even thought about it.
I can't wait to ask Saleh what he thinks about the substation.
No. So help me God. If that substation.
Carnell, Cam,
no.
Jeff.
I didn't even.
Don't even let him practice. Your microphone's not on. See, it's not like cover 2 where you can just start talking. We have to invite you.
Here you go for it.
We have to invite you. Would you like to speak? Now you can speak.
I was going to say there are rumors building about Brandon Ayuk being behind the substation, and so I wondered, does that affect the Titans or
being
not?
Behind the substation? What do you mean?
He's handling everything. He's the cause for it all.
Saleh's been asked about it, right?
I don't think so. Not lately. Not about the substation specifically, unless I missed something.
Can they just practice in Levi Stadium?
I mean, yes.
Well, yes. Go to Santa Clara.
Or go to like San Jose State or something like that.
Yes.
Just go as far away from this godforsaken practice facility as humanly possible. All right, we'll see if we don't have Pat Coogan on the other side. You'll probably hear from Titans players as well. I'm Buck Rising here at the Titans training camp practice. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Titans center Austin Schlottmann is at the podium. We go now to the Titans press conference.
You guys.
I personally love it. I love the talk, the chippiness, the competition. It's fun. It makes practice fun. It makes everyone better, because like you line up that next play and you want to beat that guy. You want to go out there and dominate that rep, and I think that only makes people better. I think there's a line, and I think we've done a good job for the most part of staying behind that line.
Instigator on Tuesday. It kind of looked like you were kind of in the middle.
Jeff and I have kind of, I wouldn't say get into it, but we kind of, there's some talking after some plays most days, so it was kind of like a normal thing, and I don't know, it might have gone on a little longer than normal, but it's just, we're just playing football. That's part of it.
Against him as often as you do. We always hear about the iron sharpens iron this time of year. What's special about him particularly?
He's a great player. He's the best, if not the best, one of the best at his position in the league, and I think getting to go against him is only going to make all of us better. He's got a crazy bag of tools and can use any of them at any point, and plays with his hair on fire every single rep, chases the ball, plays hard. That's only going to make us better. I enjoy it.
How extensive is the choreography up front that goes into being a good screen team?
That goes into being what?
A good screen team.
It's we kind of have we have a lot of screens, but we kind of, like, say we're going into a week, we have a few that we like and we really practice them. So it's not super complex. It's just being on the right timing, going to the right landmark, having your eyes on the right guy. So I think we practice it well, especially like my previous experience in this offense. Once we get into the season during the week, we got some screens we like, we're going to practice them, we're going to get good at them, and we're going to go out there and execute them.
One last one. You good? Thanks, Austin.
Great stuff.
Who's the biggest eater on the offensive line?
Biggest eater? Oh, man. I don't know. I feel like we all put down a good amount of food. I don't know if I can name anyone yet. As we go through camp, maybe ask me later. I'll let you know.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
So that is Austin Schlottmann at the podium, talking about him and Jeff Simmons getting into a little bit of a dust-up, for lack of a better term. We will see if Tajay Spears or Jacob Martin get to the podium here in the next couple of minutes, and we will hear from the Titans running back and pass rusher about their progress. But, I mean, Lucas, there's no real conversation around center. How many positions are we actually talking about competition? Is it just right guard?
Like in terms of starting competition?
Yeah.
Just on the offensive line or in general?
No, I mean on the roster. Like, is it just the right guard spot? Everything else is pretty well decided. Unless I'm missing something.
I mean, Flott and Taylor are your boundary corners. Marcus Harris seems like he's going to be your nickel.
Well, until he's not, right? That's one where I think it's worth keeping an eye on.
Like there's competition full blown somewhere like right guard, and then there's a situation like Harris where it's not like he's an established enough player to lock him in anywhere and write him in Sharpie. Who knows? Who could push Marcus Harris for that nickel spot?
That is actually a great question. I guess is it Josh Williams, who is the Chiefs corner? Just kind of looking at the depth chart right now, and again, I don't know how much Josh Williams has worked in the slot in his career. Guys, okay, well we will circle back around to competition discussions a little later on in the show. In the meantime, we're getting ready to have Pat Coogan join us out here at the Titans training camp practice. We've just wrapped up another day at practice, and we will look forward to talking to Pat about how today's day of work went. I'm also going to bend his ear entirely about the Indiana championship season because we haven't talked about that enough around here. Pat Coogan joins us now on 104.5 The Zone. What's up, stud?
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. How was the day?
It's good. Warm one out here, but Nashville, Tennessee, and we need some hot ones out here.
Yeah.
It's training camp after all.
You used to that?
A little bit. And, Tennessee weather's a little different, but southern Indiana was pretty humid as well. So, but no, it was good. It was a good day.
As far as, settling in and things like that, obviously you guys get this question a lot as rookies, but has there been a part of the acclimation process that's been easier than others? Is there something that's, taken a little more time to kind of get your legs under you?
Well, I think just the whole process in general, it's unique. It's everyone's first time doing it. So it takes time, just like anything. It takes repetitions. It takes, great veterans kind of pulling you along and helping you out, and that's exactly what we have here, and that's exactly what I have, being in the O-line room. But, just the playbook as well, being a center, the responsibilities that I hold, that I possess, being part, that come with the position. There's a lot, and I'm really happy about the challenge and excited about the challenge. Like, ever since the spring and first getting here, I feel like just every single day I've tried my best to put my best foot forward and improve every single day, and whether that's mentally, physically, or whatever the case may be. Playbook-wise, it's a complex offense, and it's a dynamic offense, and being a center holds a lot of responsibilities in here, so it's a day-by-day, daily process of improving.
And Brasillo doesn't sound like he's slowing down for anybody.
No doubt. No.
Our producer, Ross, here brought up a good point, that you had back-to-back seasons at the end of your college career playing deep into January, obviously getting to the national championship game with Notre Dame and then winning the national title with Indiana. Do you feel like that will prepare you as you get into your first NFL season? We talk about that proverbial rookie wall all the time for guys playing 16, 17 games for the first time. Is that something you've thought about at all, and how that's helped you prepare for the rigors of an NFL year?
Yeah, I think, it certainly can't hurt, right? I know.
Other than physically.
Right.
I guess it could.
I guess you're right. But I've had so many great trainers and people that have helped me get my body back. And, in the offseason, even before the draft, I, trained with a really great program in Training House, and Alex Boone and Bill Welly, that really helped me get my body back after a 16-game season and get prepared for the schedule that, the NFL possesses. And I think, certainly I kind of know what works with my body now, and being an older college player and transitioning into this new game, this new league and the NFL and everything. I know what works for me, the recovery modules that, maybe work a little bit better than others, certainly because those were needed these past 2 years, playing much longer than really anyone in college football. I don't know specifically, but I think I was the only person to do that. And, I think it's only a positive. My body feels great. Like I said, I've had great people to help me with that and continue to help me with that every single day here. And, but it's a brand new ball game. It's a brand new league. And I think, at the end of the day, you just got to take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, and really just pay attention to the small details that help you along the way, especially with your body.
I'm an Indiana alum, so I need to know how the hell that happened, okay? Because that is not an experience that fan base is used to, and you guys won a damn national championship. I don't got to tell you. Pat, I am in awe of everything that you guys were able to accomplish. This is probably as much as I've fanboyed in a long time. But, first, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for helping us understand how much fun college football is in Indiana. But, two, how the hell?
Oh, man. That's kind of the question everybody asks, right? Like, what?
Yeah.
What was the
for good reason, Pat.
Yeah,
I know you were at Notre Dame.
No, fair. I get it. But really, it's kind of hard to put into words, and I don't even think I've soaked it all up yet, because this whole past year, these whole past 2 years, like going into the national championship and then transferring 7 days later, and starting winter workouts 10 days later, it's just been a whirlwind of ups and downs, ebbs and flows, challenges. But so my point being, I don't think I've really soaked it all in yet.
Sure.
But that's okay, right? I'm excited for this new challenge and opportunity, and that those are what my eyes are set forward on. But, man, I wish I had a specific answer for you. We had a hell of a team and a hell of a coaching staff. Obviously, so many guys getting picked up by the league and drafted, and the coaching staff and all their credentials and everything. But I just tell everybody we just played with a certain fire that was untouchable, right? We kind of had this identity about ourselves. We built this identity, and it was a group of individuals. it's been a talking point for a while, like all these transfers and, you know, Indiana being, you know, transfer quarterback, whatever the case may be, all these guys coming from across the board, JMU, whatever the case may be, we all came together in Bloomington and created something really special. So part of those guys in the locker room and those coaching staff, it was a really special group.
Titans rookie center Pat Coogan with us. You were the MVP of the Rose Bowl. The last time that happened for an offensive lineman, the forward pass was like a relatively new concept. Can you take us through how you found out you were the offensive MVP for the freaking Rose Bowl as a center for the Hoosiers? Who told you? What was your reaction? What was that like after the beatdown you guys put on Alabama?
So good.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So walking off the field, I was met by a Rose Bowl worker. Like they had a bunch of, you know, volunteers or whatever the case may be. And he said, "Hey, you're one of the players of the game. Like, please find me and follow me to the stage." I was like, okay. Kind of just assumed, like, there was like 10 of us up there. So, you know, and mainly the seniors and starters and stuff. You know, at every, you know, Big Ten championship was the same way. We were all up there, so I didn't think much of it at all. And then when he started, I forget who the announcer was. I'm drawing a blank totally. But when he started talking about Mendoza and, like, appreciating his offensive line.
Maybe Fox, Gus Johnson?
I think it was
Fowler?
Chris Fowler.
Yes,
Yeah.
You're totally right. And he started talking about, like, how he always gives credit to his offensive line. I was like, what's he doing here, you know? And
me?
Yeah. But then I was just totally in awe and in shock. You know, if there's a clip of it, my face, like I'm just like looking out in the crowd and I like snap my face to the side, like, did he say my name? Like, why is he saying my name? And for the longest time, for like 48 hours, I completely thought that Fernando won the MVP and he gave it to me. And then Kirk Herbstreit posted something about how I actually won it, and I was like, damn, you know, like, yeah, wild.
Insane.
Your vantage, it's the last Indiana football question I'm going to ask you, Pat, but I have to get my fill. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
My second Indiana football game was the national championship game. Okay, so that's the second time that I've seen that team play.
Wow.
The first time was you guys whooping the snot out of Oregon in the Peach Bowl. Okay,
Yeah,
So
2 for 2.
True bandwagon.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
but I mean, we all are. Like, that's kind of the thing. You have to understand. Your vantage point on that 4th and 5 touchdown run by Fernando, we thought he was dead to rights, and my seats were in that end zone at that point. I don't know if at what point you looked up and realized he got in, or if you knew he had it the entire way. It's one of the most spectacular plays I saw in college football last year.
Yeah, I think it's going to go down in college football history. You know, 4th and Mendoza, people are saying, like, calling it, but
Let's get that going. Let's keep that going. 4th and Mendoza. I like that.
not going to lie, it wasn't the greatest of blocks by me. I was kind of on the ground. If you watch the video, he like hops over me and I'm on the ground like looking, and then I was like, oh my God. I turned back and I'm like, there's definitely gonna be a flag or something. I don't know why I'm a pessimist, but
You're a center. I feel like that comes with the territory.
So I turn around, I was like, oh my God, did I just get called for a holding? And then I see him leap in the end zone. It was like just the craziest. It really felt like I was in the middle of a movie scene. Like you see these movie scenes of bobbing and weaving, dodging and jumping and reaching for the goal line, like total movie scene.
Pat Coogan, kind enough to spend some time here with us. We got to let you go because I know you got a lot more stuff going on today, but we appreciate your time, buddy. Again, congratulations on the opportunity here with the Titans, and congratulations on the national championship. And again, thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, guys.
That's Pat Coogan. We're staying right here, right, Lucas?
Yep,
Okay, we're going to stay right here. In fact, why don't we jump over to the press conference? I think it's Jacob Martin speaking now, if we could. You let me know when we're ready, Krull, and we will do just that. Let's hear from the Titans pass rusher.
It was a rescue job I did last year in D.C., partnered with a dog shelter out there. Basically, I paid for vets visits for animals in the community, and then there was a discount for adoption for dogs over 55 pounds. Statistically, dogs over 55 pounds spend a lot more time in shelters. They're also on the fast track to be put down in most cases. Generally because there's legislation certain areas. I'm not sure what the rules are here or how the laws are here in terms of renters' rights in terms of animals. But I know in D.C., basically it was impossible to find to rent a space. You had a dog over 55 pounds.
You mentioned animals when they asked about journalism, and you have this with the dogs. What is it that draws you to animals in particular?
Oh man, truthfully, man, that was my first passion. You know, if football to me wasn't necessarily my main goal in life, my first dream was to be an animal physiologist. Truthfully, Temple didn't offer that, so I majored in football. But it's something that's been near and dear to me my whole life. Something that's always come easy to me, and something that I think about often is whatever comes easiest is probably your purpose. So I found purpose in that for sure. I have 3 dogs at home, 1 snake. So, yeah. My oldest dog his name is Bubba. He's a golden retriever. My second dog, his name is Beans. He's like a black lab pit bull mix. And then my third dog is a Bernese mountain dog. Her name is Mabel.
You thought about doing anything here in the community here?
Oh, without a doubt. We'll get that stuff rolling as soon as we get some time. When things settle down here with football, we'll get that rolling.
How do you turn the switch off? Violent on the field and then cuddling the soft dogs?
I think that's important. I think you can't be violent everywhere. Obviously, I can't go and, punch somebody in the face in the street. But, you can get all that energy off out here in between the lines. So.
Appreciate you.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Jacob Martin, the Titans pass rusher at the podium. They are still awaiting Tajay Spears, who will conclude our Titans media availability today. 615-737-1045, the number if you want to jump in. Last call for we don't have another commercial break here, right, Kroll? I think we're done. We're okay. We're done for the day, so we're going to keep it right here for the rest of the show until 55. At some point, we will do Kirby's practice observations, but I think that's more an end-of-camp thing at this point. No, I haven't blown you off all week. God knows I've tried.
They have watermelon.
Pause. I know. How much watermelon did you get? Ramon said pause.
6 pieces.
6 pieces. So somebody heard your pleas on the air.
It was already in there.
That's just great timing.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely do we have fresh fruit in the Titans media room.
Good stuff.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm happy for you. Did it satisfy your need, or did you feel the need to still eat it with a spoon out of the rind?
I will do that this weekend on the Buffalo for sure.
In the boat or no?
Yes.
Is this a canoe?
Yes.
Individual canoe.
It'll fit like 2.
No, I guess an individual canoe is a kayak. Can you individually paddle a canoe?
You could.
That sounds like a heavy lift.
It's better with 2 people.
This is an annual tradition that Lucas has. So we will wrap things up for the day. I know there's a Purdue athletic director clip that I want to get to, or that Lucas wants to get to, but it sounds like we're going to do that tomorrow. And nothing makes me happier than Purdue doing something stupid, and it sounds like this was infinitely stupid.
Yeah, I can't wait to.
Yes.
I wish we had time to play it for Pat Coogan. We're going to have him back on the show because I feel bad. Like we only asked a couple of Titans questions, but
no, it's okay.
I want to know so much more about what it's like to be around Curt Cignetti. Is he like that all the time? Does he say as many cool things in the building to you guys as he does to us in the media?
How does everybody else get sick from Chipotle, but he does not? That is the question.
There is some news. Pete Nakos is reporting that former Florida State quarterback Thomas Castellanos is filing a lawsuit against the NCAA seeking an injunction for a 5th year looking to enter the transfer portal.
He was here playing receiver in minicamp. That's right. In rookie camp. He was here for camp.
Titans legend Thomas Castellanos.
That's right. That is correct. Titans legend indeed. I mean, he can't get back in, right? He signed a pro contract.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the precursors that we haven't talked about, this new legislation that's passed that opens up the eligibility window for a number of different players recently. But I would be stunned if somebody who has been in an NFL rookie camp or training camp, like Pavia, can't go back. Sure, he would try if he wanted to. I don't know. Maybe that part of his career is done and he's ready to move on. But I can't imagine that we would see as many players as are going to try and get back into college football actually be able to get back into college football this year, Lucas.
I don't know, man. At some point, the limit just does not exist on what can be done and what rules can and can't be broken.
Well, the limit exists on this show. The show is over for the day. We appreciate your participation. As always, make sure you check out the podcast for anything that you missed. We are not at training camp tomorrow. We will be back in studio. Jeff Fisher is going to be on the radio show tomorrow. Talk a little Titans, talk a little Nashville Cats. I know Fish is involved with the Arena Football League, and they are in the midst of their championship, if I'm not mistaken. See you then.